All right, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you are new here. Appreciate you guys joining me today and appreciate you waiting patiently for the intro to finish up. Good afternoon, son. Michael, I was just thinking about you, bro. I was just thinking, where's Michael been? Where's Mr. Werneth been? What's up, man? Irfin. Irfin's fighting the good fight. Yeah, we cut you coming in all black. I saw some of the comments you guys are dropping were pretty funny. Punished MBG wearing the black thumbnail background era. Getting crunk for the big 250. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, it was my 4th of July was not great, to be honest. Having some weird problems lately, but feeling a little bit better today, which I'm grateful for. Still don't know what's going on, guys. Like I'm just gonna give you a forewarning now. Um, my intention is for today's stream to go just as usual, right? This is why I didn't stream yesterday. I was having a lot of problems yesterday. But if I end the stream early, you know why. I'm gonna be, seeing doctors and getting tests and stuff done soon. So, hopefully it's nothing serious, but definitely been having some weird stuff happen. But I am thankful for you guys joining me today and for all of the incredibly heinous news that we're going to be covering because it provides a good distraction. We have Zanarkand Blitzer Revelation. He says, "Heads up, soldier. Super chat's incoming. Please wait till I'm done. MEG, happy 4th of July. Happy birthday. 250 America. Yes, happy 4th of July to everybody." I was planning on, I did put out a video on the 4th of July, but couldn't do a stream the next day. Hope you and the family had a great 4th of July weekend, man. Well, I appreciate that, Zanarkand. And yes, absolutely. Happy 250th to America. This is why. Like my Americans coming out, you know? We got to fight. We got to fight. Even if the odds are against us, we got to fight Sony, man. Japanese menace. No, we'll talk about. Well, listen. Xbox dropped their news today, and gotta say, man, I knew Sony was bad. They just they still haven't said anything. They legit are hiding behind this. So we'll go over what's happening with Xbox. I'll keep you guys informed there, but we're not going to lose sight of the bigger picture here for now, anyway, and for who knows how long. Which is, yeah, Sony, dude, still haven't said nothing. I'm not surprised they didn't say anything on Saturday or Sunday. I am surprised that we're sitting here at 12 p.m. Eastern on a Monday and they haven't said anything. Not good. Oh, God. MBG, I can't super chat right now. Can you please read my comment I just posted? I will try, Michael. Let me see. I think I got a direct donation as well. Yeah, if you guys want to support the channel, you know what to do. Super chats, direct donations, memberships. I apologize. I've been telling you guys that I've been trying to get stuff sorted for members content. Things are going to have to take a bit of a back seat. I got a lot going on right now, and obviously all this going on. But right now I have no choice. I have to just focus on being able to put out videos and do these streams. But hopefully when things get sorted out and I'm in a better place, we'll be able to get right on that. So big thank you to everybody who still continues to maintain their membership. Just know that you are supporting what I do here. You're making it possible. MEG, just curious, 4 to 6 months ago, you said that if and when things go digital only, you would finally then just play digital. How come you're now taking a stance against it? Because Michael, it's a good question. And I've been getting questions like this from people. And yeah, I've talked a lot about the idea of a digital only future many times, actually. That's a discussion we've had um, many times with, oh, sorry, where the hell my chat go? We've had that discussion many times on this channel. Is the volume lower? Yeah, hold on. I was thinking something might be up. Let me, oh. There we go. We should be good now. Sorry about that. I knew something wasn't quite right. Um, we've been talking about this, and just to clarify, Michael, my assumption was always eventually, we're gonna see a digital only future, right? I talked about how at the very least we should, at the bare minimum, like this was just kind of an expectation. The PS6 generation will be, you know, we will be still having another at least one solid generation of physical games. But I always thought, what are the chances that Sony just continues to do it? Because here's the thing. People are throwing around statistics all over the place, you know, and they're doing so in an effort to basically prove like, oh, well, look at how look at how much more dominant digital is than physical. Physical is a physical game discs, it's dying, right? By the way, guys, let me know if the volume improved or not, or if it's still low. If it's still low, I can turn it up a little bit. And understand that, you know, this is true to an extent. Where like, yes, digital is now dominant, and people like you see somebody in the chat saying like digital is the future. But here's the thing, right? And this is like, I fear that too many people are losing the forest for the trees here. I don't know what's going on with my mic volume. Hold on. Testing, testing. Is this better? Hopefully this is better. I apologize. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I did miss a direct donation, by the way, from Wallroar. He says, thought the layoffs were going to be much worse. It's cool that the studios are keeping their IPs and finishing their games. Still, though, fuck everything. I mean, pretty much. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that, Wallroar. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's so much nonsense happening right now that a lot of people are losing the forest for the trees, and it can be difficult to navigate when there's all this nonsense going on at once. But the thing that I want people to really understand here is that you're not wrong if you think that, like, if you have this mindset of like, of course, eventually the future is all digital. You're not like wrong in that thought, because it does seem like that's where we're ultimately headed. And even I don't deny that. But that's not really what, like, I mean, if I had it my way, physical would always be around, but I'm not naive to change. Like, I understand things change. And sometimes, yeah, there's like permanent changes that occur. But to me, this is the timing of it all. By the way, Zanarkhan, let me know when you're finished. You dropped 2 super chats. I don't know if that's the only super chats you were dropping. You'll have to let me know. I know you like me to read them all together. Stephen Ramey, thank you for renewing your membership for a month, buddy. Appreciate that. Well, we got to do what we got to do, Devil, right? Super chat from Lingering Will says, you're going to be a good puppy and buy GTA 6 day one. You know it. If you say so, man. I would love to. Lingering Will, I'd love to. Trust me. I want to play. Okay, oh, there you go. I got my answer from Zanarkhan. I want to play GTA 6. I do. That's not something I've ever hidden. If Sony walks this back, I'll play GTA. If Sony walks this back, I'll buy Wolverine. Like, I'm not. This is where I feel like people are losing the forest for the trees here. Like, I'm trying to explain to people that our collective boot is on Sony's neck right now, and they know it. Guys, their post hit 147 million views. It surpassed GTA 6 trailer 1. This is why when I see people that are here like, Sony doesn't care. Sony doesn't care about nothing you're doing. You're just wasting your time, grinding your gears, you know? It's like, no, dude, you don't understand. Like, Sony is ready to cave. They are. Like, why do you think they're not saying anything? They're fucking terrified. They know they fucked up. And I'm trying, it's now over 150 million. It's growing. It's growing. You're going to buy GTA 6 even if it's all digital. Well, my problem was never with GTA being all digital. It's not great. I've talked about this. I've talked about how Rockstar is exploiting the fact that they know they have the anomaly. I didn't crash out about that because I expected that. I'm like, that is going to happen right now. We all know it. It's not ideal. It's not great. We need to acknowledge that. But if you had told me that, oh, Rockstar going all digital with GTA 6, Sony's going to capitalize on that and announce they're done with physical, I would have said, yeah, no, that can't happen. People have been questioning if Rockstar and Sony are in cahoots here. And they very well could be. But the thing, like, I want to, again, guys, I've been trying to make this clear. I'm not against buying games digitally. I never have been. This isn't about, we need to, we need to make it known that if you're like a, all right, hold on. Why do you keep calling me puppy? Like, I mean, all right, man. That's cool. I got one for you. Keep sending me super chats. I'm not going to read them. Is that good? Keep sending them. I'll take your money. But I ain't reading what you're saying. That's fine. That's fine. All right. Hold on. I got a couple more here. We got Jimmy Mack. Remember, for 3 months he says Xbox. The news was bad, maybe good given Xbox's financial state, but it was overblown from what the media rumored. Yeah, we will talk about that. We will talk about that in due time. It's okay, Jimmy Mack. I think I understood what you're saying. Overall, I think I understand what you're saying. Makui Ninja with a $2 chat says, I'm sure Sony told Rockstar we're going all digital. I mean, it would be difficult to imagine they didn't. It would be very difficult to imagine that these two decisions were made separately and not in tandem with one another. I don't believe that. I mean, that's a crazy coincidence, By the way, guys, make sure you're hitting that like button. The algorithm's definitely been picking us up lately. You guys have been showing incredible support. If you want to continue to do that, or help with that YouTube side of the algorithm, hit the like button. That's all you got to do. Virtual Man with a $10 chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, I was looking to pre-order Planet Zoo 2, which is currently digital only, but after Sony stunt, I decided not to. In fact, I refuse to buy anything digital, at least until Sony reverses course. Well, we appreciate that, Virtual Man. That's a tough one. That's a tough one because that is a digital only game. And, this is where I'm continuing to try to tell people, like, Sony, I'll continue to reiterate this as we go forward. This isn't about ending Sony. I think most of you know that. I think everybody knows that. This isn't about that. This is about preserving and protecting one of the last remaining consumer rights that we have, and not just willingly handing it over to Sony because they're forcefully trying to take it right now. That's what this is about. I mean, there's a lot of, so Narcan, thank you, bro. I'll go back and I'll read those. There's a lot of people who are getting lost in the weeds here, which sometimes happens, and that's normal. And it's going to happen to me too. But people always need to be able to take that step back. Like, for example, one of the biggest arguments I continue to encounter is like, this is a lost battle, MBG. You're fighting for a dying, format here. physical's dying, you're fighting to keep it alive, your efforts would be better spent trying to fight for digital ownership and better consumer rights for digital purchases. And I'm not against that at all. I completely agree. We absolutely should be fighting for that. We need to fight for that at this point, considering digital is still dominant, right? But the thing that I continue to try to explain to people that I think not enough people, even people whose intentions are truly good here, where it's like we need to fight for digital ownership and digital consumer rights. We all collectively right now need to understand that that is many, many years away. And I'm not exaggerating that. That is like, you need to understand the ESA. Okay. The ESA is basically the, forgive my lack of technical terminology, but they're basically the body that is meant to be between the gaming industry and the government, right? And their job is to oversee things so that way the government doesn't get involved. They have no interest in consumer protection for digital. There's actually, Kotaku's not a place that I usually read from, but there's actually an article that Kotaku wrote up that I want to go over with you guys, where this is why I was trying to say, like, they tried to reach out to the ESA and the ESA refuses to comment. They don't care. Sony's part of the ESA. This is why I'm trying to tell people, like, we are backed into a corner, and they know this. This is why they're going in for the kill. This is why it is fucking despicable to see these bootlicking shills, bro. Like, it's bad. Where, like, they are out here thanking Sony. I commented to this one guy. I was like, okay, maybe I took it a little too far. This guy said, he was like talking shit to me and saying how we're just 10 little crybabies or whatever. And I'm like, Sony spits on you and you thank them. It's like, but it's true. It's because this is the level we're at. Like, people need to wake up and understand that's exactly what's happening. Sony's pissing on your head and telling you it's raining. All right. This isn't about ending Sony. This is about taking this moment, this opportunity that will never come back around again. And I think more people are waking up to this. More people are seeing this. They're like, this is the moment. Imagine if when Microsoft announced the Xbox One, everybody was just like, stop it. Forget it. Like, just let it happen. It's the future, man. Microsoft would have steamrolled all of us. And who knows how what would have happened after that if we gave them that level of control. This is that moment, man. Like, it is. And Sony's silence proves it. They're fucking terrified. They're sitting there wondering right now, like, oh man, is this going to stick? All these cancellations, all these people canceling PS Plus, canceling their pre-orders, no longer engaging, keeping this post relevant. Is this going to stick? Tell you what, I'm feeling pretty good. Because even with this Xbox news, people ain't letting up. This is the elephant in the room. Not saying the Xbox news is justified. It's not, but it's like, you know, Sony made it easier for Microsoft. And that's on Sony. Like, this isn't about ending them. This isn't about the destruction of PlayStation or gaming or anything. It's just simply about, this is a moment where the consumer needs to exert their power because they have it. And that's why it's so goddamn disappointing to encounter so many fucktards that are like fighting me or fighting you or trying to belittle and demean those who are fighting for literally your fucking consumer right. Hey, buddy, just because you took all your consumer rights, bundled it up, handed it over to Sony, and said, please do whatever you want to me, doesn't mean we all want to do that. Understand you're a fool for doing that. Sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. That's the problem with these people. I'm not saying you can't do what you want to be a shill, you want to be a bootlicker, do that. That's perfectly fine, but get the fuck out of our way. That's my problem. These people get in our way. And let me tell you this. We're having this much of a difficult time fighting back against this in the face of what Sony's doing. We're having this hard of a time because we're encountering these people. Imagine how much worse it's going to be when we try to fight for consumer digital rights. Or, sorry, digital rights. Consumer digital rights when it comes to buying digital only. Like, if we ever do go digital only and physical is completely out of the picture. Imagine how much more difficult it's going to be. Sean Mitchell, I'm sorry. All right, let me read these super chats. I'm sorry to keep you guys waiting. Sean, you're saying 2026 is such a behemoth year for games, probably the best year ever, but I can't help but feel like I'm waiting to find out what horrible act is going to happen next for either Xbox or PlayStation. It sucks, man. And that's the worst part of all. This is why I was saying that, like, it truly feels like these games are fucking being weaponized. These studios, these games, they're all being weaponized by these corporate entities that are trying to do everything they can to preserve their own bottom lines, which is like, I'm not saying I don't understand business as business, but there's a difference between running a healthy business that's based on giving the consumer what they want, treating them fairly, treating them right, and running a good business because you're basically constantly scamming people and constantly fucking pulling the wool over their eyes and trying to get away with it. I agree, Sean. It's quite sad. Let me read Zanarkan's posts. He dropped a few here. Zanarkan, thank you so much for that, buddy. He says, MBG, catch me up on the news. Reading up on Final Fantasy VII Revelation, I see bad news pop up about Sony ending physical disc production in 2028. What the fuck? Tell me this is a nightmare. One of your scary stories. Well, to answer that first, Zanarkan, unfortunately, no, bro. I wish I could tell you it was a joke. It was a out-of-season April Fool's joke. It was a nightmare. Unfortunately not. Sony just decided July 1st, 2026 to drop that bomb on everybody, drop a couple lines and then walk away. They haven't said anything since. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the problem, right? They're hoping you're distracted by reading up on Final Fantasy VII Revelation and focusing on the great games coming, which is sad that I'm telling you, the games have to be caught in the crossfire here. It's totally fucked. You're saying Sony's reasons, latest news we know now. How are other companies reacting? Nintendo, Microsoft. What about game devs and publishers? Sony's reason, I shit you not, Zanarkand, the reason they gave is like consumer trends. They had the audacity to say in their blog post that we're giving you more options and we'll continue to respond. Like, the reason, though, truthfully, Zanarkand, I think you know it. I think a lot of people, the reason is control and profitability going into next generation. They don't want to have to deal with physical games, ownership, the secondhand market. They don't want to deal with that anymore. And they want to make sure going into the PlayStation 6, it's not a thing. And they also know, so you talk about like Nintendo, Microsoft, both quiet right now. Really curious to see what Microsoft does. I think this is a great opportunity for Microsoft to dunk on Sony in a way that, I'm going to be honest with you guys right now. I don't know if Asha Sharma sees this or not, since she's new to gaming. But like this, I have not seen a greater opportunity present itself for Microsoft to dunk on Sony in a way that would be, it would ripple. I mean, dude, this is the closest thing we've ever seen to Microsoft having the opportunity to do to Sony what Sony did to them back in 2013 and 14. I wonder if they know that. And I'm getting close to like tweeting at Asha Sharma and be like, just a heads up. Like, I'm sure somebody's informed her of that. But just in case they're unaware, like, this is your time. People are ready to leave PlayStation. People are ready to leave. And you know what would be amazing? This is the best part of all. If Microsoft did that, that would force Sony's hand. MBG update, their tweet just hit 150 million views. That is fucking bananas. That's bananas, man. Live tweet it now. Zanarkan, I'm going to come back to your chats. Let me go live tweet it now. Naughty Dogs, dude, PlayStation Studios are posting. Naughty Dog posted. Housemark put. Let me go see what I saw that Housemark posted earlier. I just want to check really quick if would they delete it? Oh, here we go. Housemark posted. I have to do my job, guys. Hold on. Want to try out Soros? Our 2.5 hour PlayStation Plus premium game trial is now available. Soros was a great game, in my opinion, but please try to inform Sony that we want future Housemark titles on. We want future Housemark titles on disc at Sony, at PlayStation. So I'm trying to be respectful to the studios, because it's not their fault. Hence why I'm saying Soros is a great game, in my opinion. I'm trying to be respectful towards the studios. It's not their fault, man. Housemark shouldn't have to, we're not trying to berate Housemark. That's why when I responded to Naughty Dog the other day, wishing them a 4th of July, because that was their post. But I also said, please tell Sony we want future Naughty Dog games on disc. This is what we got to do. We can't let it go away. And this is what I want to encourage people. I'm not asking you to harass anybody. Do not do that. But anytime anytime a PlayStation studio or any official Sony or PlayStation account tweets, let them know. You don't always have to be crazy about it. I mean, if it's Sony directly, if it's PlayStation directly, maybe you got to get a little crazy because they're being heinous for just ignoring us. But when it comes to the studios, just let them know. We're not letting this go away. We're not. All right, Zanarkin, I'm going to continue reading. Let me just post this. 150 million views. Let's see. Jeez, man. 150 million views. My lord. And yet, Sony remains silent. All right. So, Narcan, let me come back to your string of tweets here, or tweets, string of super chats. You say here, Sony will stop physical disc production, so no more PlayStation Studios discs from 2028. What about third-party devs and publishers? Will they be able to release on disc via their own distribution, etc.? No. That's the thing about this, Narcan, is Sony made it clear after January 2028, no new PlayStation games. All PlayStation. All of PlayStation. No new PlayStation games will be getting a physical disc release. They did confirm that if you release a game prior to that and you want to continue to manufacture physical discs for any game released prior to January 2028, you can, but that's the cutoff date. January 2028 is the date Sony has set to kill physical games, physical disc games. And Zanarcan, you're saying, what about when the PS6 is released? PS5 becomes last gen. Will game discs be available for PS5 and PS4? Games are released on last gen after PS6. Yeah, it is confusing. Cause that's the thing about it. Sony barely elaborated, but if you read the blog post they put out, basically, if you as any developer, just think of it like this: just January 2028. Keep that. So we're assuming the PS6 launches in November 2027, unless it gets delayed to 2028. But all you need to know, Zanarkand, is January 2028. That is the date that Sony has set. That after that date, there will never be another physical PlayStation game made. For all right, let me actually reword that, because that does sound confusing. If you're a developer and your game releases after January 2028, you cannot make a physical PS5 version. That's the best way to word it. If you're a developer, January 2028, if your game comes out after that, no physical version for you. Not allowed. Sony cut you off. Makui Ninja, you're saying just because you don't buy discs doesn't mean CD is dead for everybody. People need to think beyond themselves. Shaking my head. I know. Well, that's the thing. I do wish more people, like, I totally understand if people are like, I don't want to be bothered by this. I don't care. I totally get that. I totally get that. Like, I wish they would, but it's like, I get it, man. I'm indifferent about a lot of things too. But, you know, it would be nice if more people kind of realize that this is only going to make things worse for you. Undoubtedly. I do believe eventually, many, many years from now, probably well over a decade, if I'm being honest. Maybe it won't be a decade, but it could take up to a decade. Eventually, I think we will have more consumer rights and protection for, digital purchases. But I think it's kind of clear, at least in my opinion, it is made clear that Sony is banking on that taking a long time, certainly probably the entirety of the PlayStation 6 generation. And in that time, they can squeeze all their customers without any recourse. Like, the customers will have no recourse. Sony's not doing anything until they are forced. Sony has made it clear where they stand. And so I do wish just more people would wake up to that. Like, even if you are a digital only buyer and you think this is fine, understand that once this goes into effect, Sony can do whatever the fuck they want to you. And do you know what they're going to tell you? Do you know what Sony's going to tell you? They're going to say, oh, you got a problem with this? What are you going to do? Leave? Where are you going to go? You already stuck with us. You're already invested in PlayStation. Look at all your digital games. You're going to leave that all behind? Where are you going to go? Understand this is Sony's mentality. I know a lot of you guys here already know that, but just for people who maybe still don't realize, like, that's their mentality, man. And it is bad. It is bad. Zenarcan, yeah, I still got a few of your super chats, man. I'm just trying to read them in the order. There were a few more super chats that came before yours. So currently I'm just trying to read them in order because I'm trying not to. I've been getting mixed up lately. Kane Z7, you're saying, hi, MBG, did you know that Steam didn't have this good refund policy for that long? They were sued back in 2015, and then they changed the policies. I say, let Sony do this. Let them be sued. Only like this, things will change. I mean, you're probably not wrong, Kane. Like, that's the thing. If we do lose this battle right now, which I don't think, I don't want to say I can call it either way. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I could see us losing it. I could see us winning it. I do believe, though, that Sony is scared. Kane, I do think Sony is going to open themselves up to being annihilated somewhat aggressively from that perspective of, like, lawsuits and gaining the attention of the law and from lawmakers and the government potentially. But I have this distinct feeling that they're betting, like, looking at how difficult it's been already, where, again, like, Stop Killing Games has pretty much hit a roadblock because it's just like there's so many things set up to protect corporations, and it's really hard to break through that. Really, really hard. I really do believe that Sony will have to eventually change their practices. I think they know that too in the long run. It's just the timing. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, but guys, if we fight to win this battle and we force Sony to say, okay, we'll support physical games and the games will be on the disc. We'll support it for one more gen. If we do that, we prolong it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that we're going to get physical media forever beyond that. I have no idea. We'll push for as long as we can. But if we do that, we at least get one more gen. And a gen, like I said, can last anywhere between 6 to 9 years, depending. And in that time, there's a lot of progress that could be made into forcing Sony. Like, it's not a bad thing. I mean, this is why I'm saying, like, it. The thing that blows my mind the most is like people's willingness to just give it up. It's like you don't have to do that. Like, you can have options, you know. Like, you can be 100% digital buyer, but still understand why it's good for the physical option to exist. You know, Garrett Green, a member for 31 months, he says, MBG, forget Asmongold. Hassan Piker is a video about PlayStation killing discs. I don't care if people here hate him. He's spitting facts. You should check it out. Yeah, maybe I'll go check that out. I don't watch either of them. I've been seeing a lot of Asmongold on my Twitter feed. And he has he has the stance, knowing he's a PC gamer. Again, I don't follow him, and I know a lot of people hate him, but he's he's a big voice. Like, a lot of people listen to him. His whole stance is we should just be focused on consumer protection for digital games. And I'm like, yeah, that's not wrong, but like, dude, people don't like. If you're having this hard of a time getting people to care about the preservation of the option that is physical media, what makes you think you're going to have an easier time getting them to care about digital consumer rights when they've already handed over those rights? You know what I mean? Like, they've already handed them over. You have to now convince them to care enough to be angry at the current status quo. This is why I'm like, this is the opportunity to avoid that struggle. Not avoid it, but to be able to fight that war and that battle more easily, knowing there's still an alternative option that exists. Having that alternative option might make it a little bit more difficult to win lawmakers over and stuff, but that's what just is perplexing to me, is it's just like the option exists right now. Why risk the end of that option, the ending of that option, in the hope that we win a future battle that will open up options on the digital storefronts for the consumer, when at the rate things are going, it's like, good luck. But yeah, maybe I'll check out Hassan's video. I don't watch him either. I know I always see him getting clowned on. Not always, but it pops up from time to time. But maybe I'll go check that out. We also have Zanarkand. I still got your super chats. They're still here. Yeah, so I got part 5 of your super chat saying Hideo Kojima describes Sony's decision to end physical games as, quote, scary. Warns that you won't own the data. There's a server somewhere, and you only have the right to turn on the tap. Yeah, Kojima's been kind of preaching about this stuff for a long, long time, man. A lot of this stuff was kind of touched upon in previous Metal Gear games. And it's funny because Kojima is currently making a PlayStation 6 exclusive, that being Fizzant. And, Fizzant sounds like it's going to be an amazing game. I have no doubt. I say this with 100% certainty. I don't know Kojima personally. I've never met the man, but I've listened to him long enough and I've played enough of his games to know that Kojima absolutely 100% wants a physical disc of Fizzant, and he wants the entire game on that disc. He wants the physical case. I know Kojima wants that. I don't think he can directly say anything about it because he's working with Sony right now. He could probably get in a lot of trouble at this moment in time. And, Sony's funding his game currently, and that game is going to be used to keep his studio alive. So, I think if you read between the lines of what Kojima's saying, yeah, I don't think he's a fan of this. He's pretty much describing the same thing I'm trying to describe, or something very similar, which is like, he sees that corporate entities just want control. They don't want you to own anything. They want to be able to take something from you at a moment's notice and not tell you why. It's very unfortunate, and it's up to us to keep them in check. Sorry, guys. I just got to make sure I stay hydrated. I have not been drinking enough fluids. Makui Ninja, you're saying games can fit on multiple discs. Had them since 1997. Exactly. Exactly. And Zanarkand, you're saying part 5B. Speaking at the Cinema in Piazza Festival in Rome, Italy, Kojima said, quote, "I'm very sad about it because I grew up with physical media," and mentioned that he is currently collecting Blu-ray discs and DVDs. Yep. Yep. I mean, that's the thing, man. I'm seeing a lot of people mourn right now. And I mean, again, Kojima, I don't expect Kojima to come out and fight Sony. That's not going to happen. It can't happen. You know, he'd put himself in some hot water. But I'm seeing a lot of like people online like mourning this, and I just wish it's like you can fight this. I'm not promising you'll win, but don't accept defeat until you have to. Until it's there, you like it is what it is. Oh, come here. Hold on one sec, guys. Give me one sec. At this point, I'm just afraid boss is going to turn my PC off. So I'm just giving him the treats now. Obviously, I want to encourage you guys to continue, gifting memberships and becoming members, but where was I? But yeah, I mean, I think people should realize like it's too soon to give up. Like don't just assume Sony can easily get away with this. You have the power. It's in your wallet, They're feeling it. I got a couple of direct donations, and then I'm going to continue with the super chats. I'm going to try to balance these here. Hold on. Where are we at? Okay, we have. As long as I didn't miss any, we have Perfect Image. She says, screaming, "The digital boys haven't fought for terms of service rights. They're just okay, or they just say okay for convenience. Now we're fighting for physical." They'll tell you, "Oh, it doesn't matter." Perfect Image is screaming. He's screaming. Well, that's the thing, man. It's gonna. We can definitely win, and I think consumers will win the battle, the war, ultimately, of like keeping these corporations in check through, through better consumer rights for their digital storefronts. I think we will win that, but it's many years away. It's a long battle, and I'll be honest, like the reason why I never really like got overly aggressive about that battle is because I maybe I was naive in thinking this, but I'm like physical is going to be around for a while. Like I know, like we talked about it going away, but guys, I literally thought like 2033 or 34 would be like the soonest it would happen. And I mean that. Like I really believe that. And Michael Wernick comes in. Michael Wernick, he's feeling the energy today. He drops 10 member gifts on you guys.
Holy shit.
Michael, thank you so much for that. So, guys, listen, I just want to let you know, if I haven't read your super chat, if I haven't read your direct donation, I'm not skipping you. I'm going in order. It's just taking a little bit longer. So please, except for that one guy, I'm not reading his super chats. I'm going to let him give me money, but I'm not reading his super chats. No. Get down. Oh, come on. Get down. You can't be up here. Get down. Don't start, boss. I just gave you your treats, bro. What's wrong with being called a puppy? It just feels degrading. I guess I mean he could be calling me something worse, I suppose. You know, boss, you got to go, man. But let me. Irfin said enough. All right, hold on. We have Rich Rod. He says, "Is this more about the fight? Is this gaming's version of Blockbuster? It's bound to happen, isn't it? If you use Netflix, Hulu, etc., you are part of it, right? Well, not entirely, Rich. Like I understand. Like you're not necessarily completely wrong. I get what you're saying. Where it's like, isn't this like, are we fighting the inevitable? Which is that this is what people want. People want no ownership. People want no consumer rights. Unfortunately, in many instances, this is the signal the masses are sending these corporations, which is at this point now what I'm trying to fight back against a little bit here, where where I can, where it's like, come on, guys, there's got to be some limits here. But I will tell you this, I'll say this right now, Rich. You can be subscribed to Hulu, you can be subscribed to Netflix, you can still buy 4K Blu-rays, you can still buy DVDs, you can buy regular Blu-rays. For the newest movies coming out. I'm not saying that won't also end at some point, but this is where this whole fight for better consumer rights through digital mediums, it's going to become more and more important. But the difference, and this is why I'm so pissed at Sony. This is why I'm so angry at this, because it's like Sony could have just done nothing, and it's like, this is going to happen on its own. And I agree. Like, yeah, eventually this is going to happen on its own, but why not wait till it gets down to less than 1%? Instead, they're like, nah, we're just going to do it now. I'm like, that's bullshit. You're telling me I'm going to live in a world where the latest movies and the latest movies are getting DVD and Blu-ray releases, and the latest albums that come out are getting vinyl and CDs, but the latest fucking PlayStation games, you're shit out of luck. That's what pisses me off, where it's like, that's bullshit. This is why I feel like we have to fight this right now, because it's like, that's bullshit. Like, come on, man. Like almost 25% of people are still buying physical at certain times. That's pretty much a fourth. Can't interact with a movie. That is true, but still, the process of putting it on the disc is pretty much the same. And Rich Ryder's saying, what if Sony extends physical, but now physical games are $10 more than digital, since you're trying to get a bigger profit for manufacturing? I mean, this is where I'm just at a point where I'm going to tell Sony to shove it. It's like, you had a good fucking thing going here. Like, I mean, I can reason if I really need to. I can reason where it's like, we're gonna keep physical, but it's gonna be a little bit more. It's like, but I'm kind of burned to a point where it's like, haven't we given enough? Like that. Like, this is just where I don't think I'm unreasonable for saying that, for asking that question. Like, haven't we given enough? Haven't we been nickel and dimed enough in the name of your bottom line? What have you done for, like, I'm going to be honest right now and say, like, it's reaching a point where we got to turn to Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo, and we got to start asking, what have you done for us lately? You've granted us the privilege to give you more money for the stuff you're producing. When was the last gesture of goodwill? Specifically with Sony. Like, that's a real fucking question. When was the last gesture of genuine goodwill towards the customer, your customer? This is why people were cheering Sony back in the PS4 gen, man. Because they understood the importance of that. They understood, like, yeah, we get it. Like, none of us are that dumb. Well, hopefully. You're a corporation, you're trying to make money, you're trying to grow. But understand how important that goodwill is towards your fans, towards the people who are paying attention. Because those people who are paying attention, that's your core. And without them, you're nothing. They're your backbone. All right? Without them, you're nothing. They make you. You want to go beyond that? Sure. But to just eat at that goodwill, to burn that goodwill, and not give a flying fuck about it anymore, it's like, this is the result. This is the result. So, I'm not trying to be unreasonable, but we really are at this point where it's like, Sony needs to be fucking humbled. And I'm at a point where I don't give a shit who humbles them. I hope it's us. Truthfully, I hope it's us. I hope they're humbled by their own fucking fans. But this is why I'm like, Microsoft, announce you're doing discs. Do it. I'll be all over it, bro. Humble their ass right now. And Titus Crow. Titus, what's going on, man? He comes in. He drops 5. Oh, we also have Mikey Moo. Sorry, Mike, I almost missed that. So Mikey Moo decided to renew his membership, and Titus drops 5. So that's 6 more. And I didn't even add Michael Wernis to the goal here, so I apologize. As you can see, I keep going in these impassioned rants, and I just lose track of stuff. Again, if I have not read your direct donation, if I have not read your super chat, I am going to. I just really have to stop going on these side tangents. It's very hard. You son of a bitch. All right, Gaming Survivor, thanks for hanging out, bro. We'll continue to fight the good fight for as long as we can. Yeah, thank you for that, Mikey Moo. I appreciate it. I don't look, I'm not saying I expect free handouts from Sony. It's not about that. It's just like, you know what I want from Sony? To treat their customers right. That's what to treat them with respect, to treat them right, because I just everything's gone to shit, man. It feels like that. It feels like the new expectation is get fucked and accept it. And it's like, okay. Like, it's depressing, man. There's so much information on the Xbox stuff that's going on. It's so hard for me to focus on any of this right now, though. Like, obviously I need to inform you guys of what's going on here. But it's so difficult because my title is so true today, and this is what's so unsettling is like, Sony, you fucking cowards. Like, you're really going to sit here on a Monday when you would have tweeted probably numerous times by now, and you're not doing shit, and you're just going to because they're hiding behind Xbox, and I'm like, can't let them hide. Can't let them hide, man. Xbox has their own world of shit. Like, we gotta stay focused. Vlond, you're saying, did you talk about Windows Central? 71% from a 3,000 vote stated they want physical to stay. Surprised to see so many videos from others about Sony's recent bad move. Don't trust Xbox or Nintendo. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying, like, I want to make it clear. If Microsoft comes out and they're like, we're doing discs, that doesn't mean, like, pledge your undying loyalty to them. And this is perhaps the mistake I've made in the past, you know? Although I don't think I've ever done something as dramatic as that, but we have the ability to mold these corporations into these brands, I should say, into what we want them to be. We have that power as a collective. It's hard because it's gotten so big and there's so many people involved and there's splits with different communities now and stuff. But it's like, yeah, if Microsoft does that, to me, that's like, you win me over right now, and I'm going to sing your praises. If anything, just in the name of making sure Sony gets the message. And then hopefully where we end is a place where we should have been the whole time, which is, yes, next gen is also going to continue to support physical games and physical media. Congratulations. Congratulations, guys. You're doing something you should have done from the beginning here. You know, even if this is the last generation, whatever, bro. Who the fuck? Like, I'm not even going to sit here and pretend that I have any idea what the gaming landscape is going to look like 10 more years from now. But we get one more gen, probably a solid 10 years. Maybe 8 probably on the high end. But 8 years is a long time, dude. You know, that's a long time and a lot can change, a lot can happen. That's where we should be right now. And I hate that these companies are like, nah, let's just kill it now. So ball's in your court, Microsoft. Ball's in both Sony and Microsoft court right now, as far as I'm concerned. And they're both just standing there right now, like, uh, what? Kane Z7 did a direct donation for a link. Let me see if I can get this link. Give me one moment here, guys. Appreciate you being patient with me. Yeah, I just want to let you know too. I've been having like random bouts of like dizziness and shit. Um, so if you see me like acting weird or my eyes are doing something weird, that's why. Hasn't been too bad today. I have no fucking idea what's causing it. For those oh Kane, this is what you dropped a picture of your collection of games. You're saying for those wondering, I'm serious about this. I'm a physical media collector, and my collection isn't going anywhere. When Sony stops using PM, my collection will still be here. They're not taking any of it away. You guys are just overreacting. Are you sure Sony's not taking it away? How sure are you about that? They're gonna be like fucking Gestapo. They're gonna be stopping by your house, Kane. They're gonna be like, "Do you have any physical PlayStation games? Are you hiding any physical PlayStation games?" Goddamn. Um, they posted 3 trailers today on PlayStation's YouTube. Those motherfuckers. I didn't notice that. I'm gonna go check that out. We'll go check out those comments. Oh my god, they're really just gonna they're gonna try to just go through with this. Unfucking real. These sons of bitches. They're gonna pay for this. We're gonna make them pay. Literally. Dinner 24 says F Hassan. He said America deserves September 11th. Jesus. He's a piece of shit commie. He also hates the military. Christ. I didn't know that. I mean I can only I guess take your word. I don't even know who this is. I don't know if I can take your word for it, but that's absolute insanity right there. I don't know if that's a guy I want advocating for physical media, bro. Whoa, hold on now. PS Contraband, you're saying Kojima, who made an AI advertisement and is making a cloud-based game, wants physical media, lol. I mean, I think Kojima genuinely does have a love and a fondness for physical media, but yeah, I guess there's no denying because of his status and his position, he does kind of still, he is involved in these things that's like not necessarily helping it, you know? Vinny, you're saying movies and music make little to no money nowadays. Having physical for them makes sense. Digital gaming makes more than those industries combined. More reason why this industry needs to be humbled, in my opinion. All the more reason it's like let it crash, let it burn, so that way, because that's the problem, right? Is like, who cares? We're bigger than this. We're bigger than that. We don't have to do that. We're not that desperate. Well, maybe you fucking should be. Maybe you should be. Maybe you should care about that customer who maybe doesn't have great internet. Maybe you should care about the parent who wants to buy Astrobot 2 and watch their child open it come Christmas morning. Maybe you should have that level of care. No, you don't. So I'm saying I'm telling you, we got to smack them around, bro. It's like, that's where they're at. That's where they're at, right? We got to smack them around. I don't want to smack them around. We got to smack them around. They still might not listen, but we'll do what we can. We'll do what we can. All right, let me go back to the super chats. See where I'm at with the super chats. Where did I leave off exactly? Okay. Zanarkand, used your membership your member chat. Part 6. What about Xbox Project Helix console? That'll have physical disc game support. Yeah, something Microsoft can advertise as a feature compared to Sony's PS6. Excuse me. There have been some mixed reports right now, Zanarkand. We don't know what Microsoft is planning on doing. Sony made it clear what they're planning on doing. Microsoft hasn't officially said anything. There have been mixed reports, some saying that Microsoft is planning on also not having a disk drive, doing a disk to digital program. But there was also, I think, one report from Windows Central that says that their plan is not locked in, heavily insinuating that they could, if Microsoft wanted to, they could at the last moment say, actually, we're going to have a disk drive and we're going to do physical media. So it's up in the air right now for Xbox completely. Kane, you're saying also, I just want to know, people were really excited for PlayStation handheld, but just now they noticed that it would be a digital only device. Really? It was obvious from the beginning, just like the ROG Ally and Steam Decks. Well, yeah, you're not wrong about that. And we did talk about that, Kane. But I think, again, the problem here is not that. The problem isn't that Sony wants to have a secondary device that is a handheld that's digital only. The problem is that I think a lot of people were anticipating that if they went into next gen, that even if the handheld existed and it was a digital only device, that doesn't mean you can't buy physical PlayStation 6 games. It might mean if you buy a physical disc version of Spider-Man 3 and you also bought the PlayStation handheld, you can play Spider-Man 3 on your console, but you're not going to have access to it on the handheld. This is why I'm saying, Sony could have just let it happen naturally. Because a customer may have decided with that, oh, I'm willing to give up physical for that. But instead, Sony was like, we're just not even going to give you a choice now. That's what, to me, again, that's the problem. It is the removal of the option. It is the removal of the option. Sony wants it gone. And I assure you, there are millions upon millions of PlayStation players who would have bought a PS6, continued to buy physical PlayStation 6 games, and maybe never bought the handheld or double dipped. Sony's kind of, I think they're being, Sony, I think, is being a little bit short-sighted here, where it's like, Sony, you have fans that are so hardcore that they probably would buy your PS6 console with a disc drive, and they would buy your handheld, and they would double dip their games. I'm not saying there's a lot of those guys, but they exist. Just saying. People want to have a physical version to collect, but, if they also want to use the handheld, they'll buy it digitally. So from Sony's perspective, it's like, you want more money, you could have got more that way. Well, just saying. And Kane, you're saying now we will also complain and make them make the handheld read discs. This is going nowhere. Sorry. No, it's not that the handheld is not the main device. As far as I'm the handheld is secondary. That's a complementary device, and it's the way this should go down. Kane, is Sony says if you want to continue to buy physical PlayStation games, you can. They will exist, and you will have that option. If you want to buy a disc drive to attach to your PlayStation 6, you can. That option will exist. If you want to buy the PS6 and our handheld, just a heads up, the handheld can't read discs. So, it's going to function based on your digital library. Do keep that in mind going in the next gen. So then the customer can make the choice. What do you want to do? If you're a physical collector for PS5, but you want to have both of those devices, but then you decide I want to go digital only, okay. Again, this comes down to Sony. I don't care what's good for Sony, dude. I care, in this instance, I care what's good for us. I'm not saying Sony, I'm not saying there isn't any semblance of logic behind Sony's decision, but this isn't about logic. This isn't about what's good for their bottom line. This isn't about business. This is about them pulling some shit right now. and their belief that we can just do this and you'll do nothing. And you'll do nothing because you can do nothing. It's offensive. Straight up. Like, don't get me wrong, these companies always do some shit that's kind of offensive at times, where it's like, okay, wow, they really thought, you know. This is the biggest offense I've seen from Sony, where it's like, I've seen some shit from this company. This takes the fucking cake. You know? Not saying, I'm not telling you what to do, Kane. Like, if you want to keep supporting PlayStation, I'm not telling you not to. I'm just letting you know where I stand here with this. I think a lot of people do. Leo Jimmy, you're saying MVG money. I totally want physical discs to continue, but looking from the Sony standpoint, why would they not funnel everyone to digital? They're the one printing the discs for everyone. If they don't make the discs, more money saved. Well, that's the thing, Leo. That is what Sony is planning to do. What I want from Sony, I'll be as clear about it as I possibly can. All right. What I want from Sony is for them to come out and say, you know what? Our bad. We didn't realize this many people still cared about having the physical disc-based option. But now that we know, we're going to do what's right. And we're going to preserve that option going into next generation. Okay? We're not going to end new physical disc games starting January 2028. We're going to preserve that option for those who still want it. Because and you know what? Throw in a little bit of just, even if it's bullshit, I don't care. Just, and also we reevaluate it and we realize physical games are a part of PlayStation's DNA. Sony's DNA. Physical media is part of Sony's DNA. In other words, I want Sony to come out and say, we'll ride till the end. You know why? Because all that would be doing is turning to probably some of their most loyal, dedicated customers and saying, we're not going to strong arm you, and we're not going to abandon you. We're not going to put you in that position. We'll stick by you till the end because you've stuck with us. I'm not saying every single hardcore loyal PlayStation gamer is only buying physical, but it's the fucking message. It's the message of it all. Where it's like, Sony, you've made so many fucking decisions this generation that make it clear you don't care. And I've always thought, like, okay, you can afford to not care a little bit, fine. But when push comes to fucking shove, you're going to care. Right? Like, I mean, surely you didn't fucking forget what happened at the beginning of the PS3 gen. And how difficult it was for Andrew House, Shuhei Yoshida, Sean Layden, Jack Trenton. Surely you didn't forget how difficult it was, how big of a mountain climb it was for them to bring PlayStation back from the brink and win gamers over and win the masses over with the end of the PS3 and certainly the PS4 generation. Surely you didn't forget that. Not only did they forget, they don't even give a shit. They don't give a shit. That's what this is about. That's what pisses me off. Is it's like we've been over here fucking begging for a goddamn showcase for like fucking 3 or 4 years just from them saying, no, we're just doing state of play. It's like, oh, okay. Begging them, okay, can you start like announcing more single player games? Can we start getting more single player games? Can you guys can you guys really stop with the whole live service thing? No. Mostly no. Like I'm not trying to like, again, I'm about giving credit where credit's due. That's why I still look at Insomniac with Wolverine and I'm like, I'm not going to say that's part of the problem. It's not. It's just this level of arrogance is like, if I'll put it as simply as I can. If this is the version of Sony I have to fucking deal with going into next gen, I'm not dealing with it. I've had enough. I'm at a point where it's like, Sony, let me know this isn't actually you right now. I'm not even saying I have to believe it. You know, like I don't have to believe it. Like I get you might have to lie a little bit. You might have to be like, oh, here we go. We got to fucking put on the act. That's the point. Do it for your fucking customers. Do it. I don't care if you don't want to. I don't care. I'm not saying you need to lie to us and say that we don't care about money. We don't care about profits. We're not a corporation. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying show some fucking goodwill towards your goddamn loyal customers, bro. That's what I'm asking for. And I'm at that point. And I get it. It's like, yeah.
Do it! Just do it!
Do it, Sony.
Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!
That's I literally can't say it any better than that. I can't express it any better than that. Like we're at that point. And I'm just saying, like, sorry, Zanarkand. So I'm sorry, bro. See, I can't stop going on tangents. I'm still a little bit behind on super chats. I apologize. Zanarkand, I'm almost to your last super chat here. Virtual Man says Sony is sadly not the only one who's going digital only. Microsoft has all but confirmed it themselves, and Nintendo already has one foot in the door with those game key cards. Exactly. This is why I'm saying our fight is so important. This is why I've been saying, Virtual Man, that like if we lose this, if we can't push Sony into submission, it's over. We're never. I want that to sink in for a second. I want this to sink in. If we don't get Sony to reverse their decision, okay, after January 2028, we're never getting physical PlayStation games ever again. Ever. Nothing. No collectors. No nothing. Nothing. Unless we fucking put Sony in the corner and say, no, not this time, Sony, not this time. I'm not relying on Nintendo, because you're right. The game key card situation with third-party games. Do it, Sony. Admit you're a loser. No, it's not anything like that. Kit Kat Bar says, keep up the good work. Thank you. Bismarck says this might be a silly idea, but could we just play our existing games in our libraries, both physical and digital, and stop buying new games for the time being? This could hurt Sony financially. I've been talking about this. It's a really hard one. It's a really, really hard one because, like, I can only take my fight so far where it's like, am I really going to be able to convince people to not buy new games that are coming out and not play games? That feels unreasonable. Some people, I mean, I would encourage that. Like, we want Sony to feel this shit. Our only power, truly, like our true power. Sure, we have our voice. We can advocate. We can clown them on social media. We can keep the pressure on. But our only true power lies in our wallets and our bank accounts. That's our only true power. So, like, people who are saying, like, I'm not giving Sony a dime. They're the ones that are actually, like, it's like they're the ones that are literally going right up to Sony and being like, I'm gonna give you a little, you know. Although in this case, it might be, I'm gonna give you a little flick, Sony, and you might think, oh, you're just one loser. You ain't doing nothing to Sony. Oh, go ahead, flick away. You think Sony feels that? You get a couple million people maybe to flick all at the same time. It's gonna fucking send Sony flying. They're gonna feel it. Turn all those collective flicks into just one haymaker to knock Sony on their ass. You know, that's the point. But shout out to Domino's, bro. Domino's they're doing their best. They're doing their best. Penguin Chili says, thank you, MEG, for promoting the petition. I'm seeing content creators with a ton of viewers / subscribers talking about this topic, but not mentioning the petition. It's approaching 140K now. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm going to keep doing that. And I think I have it pinned, by the way. Yeah, guys, listen, I should have mentioned this earlier, too. If you haven't signed the petition, yeah, it's growing rapidly. More and more people are starting to get on board with this because they're seeing that Sony is trying to get away with it. They're seeing that that Sony's staying quiet and trying to ignore it. The petition is, if you click the bottom or the pinned comment where it says donate directly here, it's underneath that. I have the petition pinned. So go sign that. We're going to continue to push that. I can't promise the petition will actually do anything, but I think if it gets enough signatures over time, like Sony can't ignore it. Like somebody has to do something. Kyle Say Stuff, you're saying proud vinyl owner. We are definitely less than 1%. It is expensive, but we kept offline music production alive. Games will be gone forever, not a comparison. Exactly. And that's the thing. It's like I am willing to accept a little bit of a compromise if it comes down to it. If it's like, okay, we'll support physical media from here on out, but you're going to have to pay a little bit more. I don't want to do that. Listen, we shouldn't have to do that. I want to step on Sony to a point where it's like, just fucking do what you've been doing because you're already profiting, you bitch. But it's like, listen, if it's either it dies completely or that's the only option we get to keep physical media alive, I'm going to say we are, unfortunately, it's not, I mean, it is kind of our fault. It's some of our faults, but it's not all of our faults. Where it's like, we are in a position where we have no choice but to take the wins that we can get. And if here's the most important thing. The singular most important thing with this fight, like priority number one, what is the objective? What is the objective? Don't let them end physical games. I'm trying to, I keep continuing to try to let you guys know when it's over, it's over. If Sony gets to cross that line and not reverse it, not undo it, you won't have to worry about paying a premium for physical games because you're going to be forced to pay a premium for the digital games that you don't own. Okay? We can talk about the pricing and whether it's right or not or fair. We could talk about that after physical media is saved. Ideally, Sony reverses this shit and don't fucking charge a premium. Just do what you've been doing. Because I promise you think Sony's not going to charge $80 for their games come next gen? Not only are they going to charge $80 for their games come next gen, they're going to be digital only. Craig Harris, you're saying Sony isn't hiding. The choice has been made. Well, then, I don't feel sorry for what happens next to them. I don't. Because you know what? I can tell you this right now. Like, you know what, Sony? If Sony goes through with this, and it's like they're literally planning on just cruising by this week, not saying shit, because it's like we're telling you by not responding that we're sticking with this. To that I say, fuck you. I can't wait to watch the PS6 burn. I can't wait to watch next gen blow the fuck up in your face because you are untouchable. Go ahead. Continue to think you're untouchable. I will literally start. I can't take it that far because I have to see what Xbox. Xbox is in their own world of shit. If I have to, if we got, dude, a week from now, if I got to start not harassing, but politely, but earnestly, I will rally the Xbox guys, bro. I'm ready to do this. I'm fucking ready I will rally the Xbox guys. I'll rally Nintendo people if I can. I don't know if I'll get the Nintendo people. I don't know if I'm going to get them. All right. New objective. All right. Sony's too fortified. Can't penetrate. Can't penetrate their fortifications. We got to rally the Xbox guys and the PlayStation guys. We're going to work together. Now we direct our attention to Asha Sharma and Microsoft and let them know you see Sony. You want to save Xbox, Asha Sharma. You want to change everything. You want to win everybody over. We need to let her know. Now's your opportunity. This is the golden opportunity. It's not about converting digital buyers to physical buyers. It's not about that. It's about the message. It's about the message. Do you think people, when Sony came out and fucking obliterated Microsoft with their whole E3 presentation where we're all about game discs, we're going to let you borrow your games, do you think people still didn't decide to buy digital only? They still did. It was about the message. It was the message. So if I have to shift this battle because Sony's refusing to do shit into now, I'm trying to plead with Microsoft. You're the only. Sony doesn't care if they lose customers. Apparently, Sony doesn't care. So now Microsoft, bro. Now it's time for you to rise. You know, it's weird. It's like people are, I'm encountering like some people, they're like, oh, well, I've always seen through you, MBG. You're just a grifter, just switching sides and shit. It's like, no, dude, it's about the principle of the matter. It always has been. Zanarkand, sorry to keep you waiting with your part 6, buddy. Because part 6B, my bad. I thought your part, I apologize, Zanarkand. I thought the part 6 was the last one you sent. You're saying, are you considering switching to Xbox Pro, Helix, and or Switch 2 for physical game disc / card support, MBG? Right now I'm completely up in the air. I'm not making any decisions right now on anything because we have to see what Sony does or doesn't do. You know, I'm still in the mentality right now that we can reverse this just through sheer force, you know, where it's like I see the post growing. You see it's being covered everywhere. I said in my video yesterday that I kind of had this fear that Sony's just going to fucking stay silent. They're just going to stay silent. And they're just going to let time do what it does. And I hate that because, unfortunately, I think that would work. If I'm being completely honest, I think so. What I mean to say, the reason why I think it would work is because I think Sony is willing to make that sacrifice. Like, I think Sony is willing to make the sacrifice that for the next 3 to 4 months before GTA 6 comes out, if we have to eat shit, then we'll eat it. But it'll be for the greater good. That is our bottom line, and making sure we have complete control. This is what bothers me. Like, we are literally, I'm sorry to sound so dramatic. We are literally at war with the board of Sony right now, with these high ranking executives. Because when I tell you they have made it clear they don't give a fuck about you and the money you spent on their platform and the support you've shown them, you are beyond disposable at this point. Unless they say otherwise. Notice how they won't say that. Notice how they're not saying that. They've run away. They're hiding. They're in their fucking bunkers, dude. This is pathetic. This is why I'm literally going to go to the enemy. I'm going to go to what was once the enemy, no longer the enemy, seemingly, but say, hey, I don't know how motivated you are to get back at some, but here's where things get complicated. Things get complicated because it's like Microsoft is selling games on PlayStation. So, like, the idea, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, I don't know how much Xbox actually wants to hurt PlayStation. Like, Call of Duty is their biggest game, and that's their biggest seller on PlayStation. But maybe there's an angle to convince even Microsoft, where it's like, but don't you understand? Your Call of Duty sales are going to be less if the PS6 fails. Don't you understand that if PlayStation goes through with this, they're hurting their platform to an irreparable degree? That's going to have cascading repercussions in the coming years. Certainly in the next year and a half. So you come out, you announce a disk drive, you announce you're supporting physical media for the next gen. Not only do you win people over, but you also convince Sony to fucking undo this dumbass decision. And that helps you too because you're also releasing games on PlayStation. I don't know. Meanwhile, Call of Duty doesn't even fucking ship on the disc. Make Sony cancel the PlayStation 6 handheld. That's a crazy one, dude. That's a crazy one. I like it though. I like that crazy attitude. Cancel that shit. Let me see. We have a Wall Roar. He says, I think he must say too long, didn't read. I don't know if Xbox cut 3,200 jobs, 20% of staff. CEO Asha Sharma cited unsustainable costs and lower profit margins, spinning off studios like Ninja Theory. Yeah. I still haven't even covered that yet. This is the problem, man. Like, I feel like frozen. Like, I can't move on from this until Sony. Like, we will get our answer. If Sony really does decide to stay silent all week, that's our answer. We won't have to wait any longer. At that point, we will have to shift the fight and redirect it, and drastic measures are going to have to be taken, you know? The fact that they're not saying anything today, though, I do feel like they're kind of giving us an answer. It's still early in the day. Like, I'm trying to leave a little bit of wiggle room, knowing that it was a holiday weekend. Okay? I'm trying to leave a little bit of wiggle room. It's a holiday weekend. Maybe they need a little bit of time to work to come up with, a solution and to put this together, to apologize, whatever. I'm leaving that window open because that's usually how these things go. It does take a little bit of time. Sony's a big corporation. They got a lot of moving parts. But if we get to like the midweek, basically like after Wednesday, if after Wednesday Sony hasn't said shit like, we're going to be devising a new plan of action here. Well, a secondary plan of action. That's my goal anyway. Gonna have to start attacking GTA. We're gonna have to attack on all fronts. We're gonna have to attack GTA. We're gonna have to attack Xbox. By attack, I mean we're gonna have to have negotiations with Xbox, possibly. I don't know if we'll see if we can make any of this happen, but I just want more people to wake up, man. I do. I hope they do. I want more people to wake up and realize like you can do this. You don't have to, but you have that power. This is an important time in gaming history, where it's like you can make a difference. Maybe not individually, but look at what's going on collectively. You can make a difference. You have the opportunity to remind these companies who's actually in charge. And it's not them. They think that right now. They think they can do whatever the fuck they want with you. Like a rag doll. You have the opportunity right now. Every day. Unplug your fucking PlayStation, bro. Send them the sign. I'm not even giving you any telemetry anymore. Unfortunately, for where we are right now, Sony's letting you know. Don't know. We gotta wait. Hold on. They might still be devising something behind the scenes. Putting something together. All right. We got a few more super chats and a few more direct donations. I'm trying to bounce back and forth from the direct donos to the super chats. People are overlooking, did retailers know? Because Sony say they'll continue to sell at them digital boxes with codes or physical boxes with digital codes, but they would have known. It's possible Sony may have informed them with the GTA 6 announcement, but we didn't hear anything. Nothing leaked. So I'm not sure, I based off of the reaction that I'm seeing, the cascading reaction that I'm seeing, even still today, I'm going to say retailers didn't actually know, but that they're just okay, I guess, this is one of those moments where I feel like Sony is genuinely strong arming everybody, literally everybody. I think Sony is in this position where they're like, who's bigger than us? No one. So we can do what we want. Sony believes we're going to, how I told you guys, we can mold the industry? Sony believes they can mold the industry right now. And that's why I think it's just so important where it's we're not going to have many other opportunities to stop them and to send a rippling message across the entire games industry and possibly beyond that, um, the entire consumer sector, and where it's like we still have the power, guys. We always have. And then we have Warpy 2K8. He says Sony is sipping on everyone's tears. They'll be fine. Shares went up. The herd will buy PS6 regardless. You old dudes are obsolete. Hey, I'm not that old. Let me see. Sony stock today. What's it look like? I went down a little bit from what I can tell. 1:33 p.m. Well, it no. It went down by like a cent. No, okay, hold on. No, today it's up 0.34%. No, 1.64%. Yeah, Sony's up today 1.64%. See? This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Like they're being sent the message, the wrong message. This is why I've been trying to tell you guys, here's how you attack Sony. Attack their fucking financials. Make it so when Sony has to reveal their next financial fucking report comes, and honestly won't be till November 5th. It's a while from now. But they're going to have to show those. God, I hate Sony so much. I know what they're doing, and it's fucking infuriating. Those fucking snakes. Those fucking snakes, bro. I'm just getting mad when I think about it because it's like they knew. Dude, I think Sony's ready to eat shit. I think they're ready. Like they're playing like a game of 4D chess here, and like the requirement from the consumer to actually win this battle is such it's asking so much, dude. And I hate. This is why I've said like Sony is they have weaponized these games. They have weaponized these games because just to go over this one more time with you guys, just to go over the financials. So when we talk about canceling PlayStation Plus, we talk about canceling pre-orders, we talk about not buying games. We talk about like a boycott here to some extent, maybe a full extent, right? Full on boycott. The question is for how long and when will we see results? Guys, Sony 100% anticipates eating shit right now. They're not that dumb. Like they knew that this news was going to fucking hurt. And they knew it was going to cause a lot of blowback. Maybe it was more than they expected, but they knew. They were absolutely ready for a boycott. They were ready for people to start canceling shit and, start destroying their PlayStations. The problem is this. Sony will not have to now keep this date in mind. Sony will not have to turn to their investors and report potentially devastating numbers if this were to succeed well enough, where it's like this actually put a real dent into their fucking numbers for their Q2 2026 earnings. They won't be showing that till November 5th. September 30th is when the cutoff date happens. But for some reason, it won't be until November 5th until they release their earnings. Sony, dude, they plan this out too well. Like where we're not going to give up the fight, but it's like this is the part that I fear the most, and why we actually might lose is because imagine we actually fuck Sony shit up right now. Imagine their shit is plummeting. This has caught fire. People are canceling all over the place. People are like, I'm out. I'm done. And let's take it even further. Let's say that persists all the way up till September 30th. And Sony goes to report those Q2 financial earnings on November 5th, and they look fucking god-awful. Like, devastatingly bad. What do you think Sony's going to turn to their investors and say, though? They're going to say, hold up. We know it looks bad. GTA comes out in 2 weeks. We can assure you This is just a very temporary setback. And this is why I'm saying, like, the next step in all of this is attacking GTA. And this is where it's like, Sony, you fucking snake. Like, they're hiding behind GTA. And is it possible the movement could gain enough traction that we could actually, like, we could start hurting Rockstar's bottom line, to where even Rockstar looks at Sony and be like, what the fuck did you do? Yes. You better fucking believe it. This is why I've tried so hard. I have tried so hard to express to people, cancel your fucking digital pre-orders, man. Okay? Because watch these companies squirm. You want to get pressure put on Sony? Cancel your GTA 6 digital pre-order. You don't fucking need it. They didn't even show you gameplay. Cancel it. Pre-order it the night before if you really want to. It's not going anywhere. There's an infinite amount of pre-orders digitally. But cancel that shit. Send a message to Rockstar. Let Rockstar know, hey, your boy over here, your boy Sony, they're fucking shit up for you now. You might want to have a conversation with them. We can do that. People don't want to, though. But it's because they don't care. And this is the problem. This is the problem. As much as I want to fucking continue to berate Sony and shit on Sony and shit on the corporations, the player is also the problem. Like, people, like, literally, the gamer needs to wake up and understand that, like, we are sending collectively the wrong message. All those who are pre-ordering GTA 6 digitally, $100. You're giving Sony $100 right now for what? For what? They'll say, thank you for that money, my good boy. My good sir. We will take that, and you will sit there and you will wait for months. By the way, if you want to cancel, you're going to have to contact our support. See ya. This is who you're giving your money to. For nothing. For literally nothing. And this is why I'm saying, like, hurt them now. Because make no mistake, you don't hurt them now, you don't send the right message now, it's only going to get worse. You think it's bad that GTA is digital only? It's just the first wave, right? It's the first sign. You're upset that there's a $100 version where they're locking certain content behind the $100 version? Go ahead, pre-order the $100 version. Send them the message. Let them know. Thank you. Thank them. Thank them. Thank them for it. Because that's what you're doing. All right. Hold on, I lost track again. God damn it. My pro's not ready for GTA 6 anymore, bro. That dude, we might have to get some merch up in this bitch. I'm not even trying to profit off of it. You know, I'd probably fucking make $1 on every shirt sold. But, like, that's a good one. I'm not giving Sony and then just a fucking poop emoji shit. Dude, listen, I want to show you guys this. All right, hold on. I got to show you guys this picture, and I'll continue to read these direct donos and these super chats. If I haven't read your direct donation or your super chat, worry not. I'm going to. I'm just getting a little bit sidetracked. Bear with me. All right. Here we go. I'm about to fucking make this a shirt, dude. Well, I'm about to just put this on a shirt, put this on merch. There you go. I love how it's in the GTA text too. It's sure, like, dude. And you know what? I'm about to sell the shirts at like a profit of like 50 cents. I don't know if they'll let me do it for no profit. Although I don't know. I haven't done merch through whoever. I don't even remember where the fuck I did my merch through. I have to start up the whole thing again. But I hope people understand this is what you're looking at. Like, I have no doubt the developers at Rockstar made something amazing here. My problem isn't with Rockstar devs. My problem is with it's with Sony, it's with Take-Two Interactive, and they're like, they just keep pushing. They keep pushing, and it's time for people to wake the fuck up. It's time for people to wake up and understand. Don't you understand? Like, what don't you understand? That they are stripping you. They're leaving you naked and cold with like a fucking linen. A single piece of linen wrapped around your fucking waist, bro. That's what they're giving you. And you're giving them everything. And they laugh at you. They count your money. They drink their wine. They smoke their cigars. They laugh when they're in their suits and their nice big leather chairs. Understand that. They don't respect you. They never have. And I'm not sure that they ever will. But you could at least let them know, hey, if I'm giving you this much money, what am I getting? You ain't getting ownership. Oh, you thought at the very least you could get ownership? Go fuck yourself. Sorry, Michael. But this is what Sony's hiding behind. yeah, we check in the necklines. It's just it's depressing because, well, I mean, we all know why it's depressing. But I can't stand that Sony has weaponized GTA 6 like this. I think we all kind of, I was in a little bit of a daze. You know, I just didn't I don't think I fully processed what was happening when Rockstar announced, like, yeah, there's no physical disc for GTA, because I was sitting there thinking, like, everybody's like, oh, they're gonna do a physical disc, like maybe a month later, maybe like next year, like they're gonna, they're doing it just for the initial batch. But then it's like, oh, MBG, if only you knew what Sony was getting ready to announce. You know what? The final days, the 11th hour of the fight, we go to Sony's California HQ. Bring all your PlayStation gear, all the PlayStation shit you can. It's gonna be a fucking wreckage zone, dude. I left, but you know what? Maybe this is what it's gonna take. We gotta go fucking Johnny Silverhand on there. All right, not that far. Not that far, but as far as we can go legally. All right. MRZ, you're saying not a regular watcher, but kudos on your recent gamer integrity, Mr. Boss Gamer. Oh, thank you, Mr. Boss. Really, Mr. Boss Gamer. Thank you for that, man. Wabu Dude, you're saying 6 years ago, Mighty Keith made a video titled GameStop after hearing the PS5 will have digital-only consoles, and it hits even harder today. Long live physical. I'll have to check that out. Sound Quest Music, you're saying, do you think this could be Xbox 2013 again? I mean, it could be if we, and maybe with the help of Microsoft, push Sony enough here. Sony's betting on you won't. Sony's betting on you won't. Microsoft won't. Sony's using everything against you. Sony is the devil right now. They're the fucking devil. No, but really, Sony's literally the devil right now, being like, you can, but you won't. You could, but you won't. And they're just smiling at you. They're just laughing at you. They're like, We're gonna win. Demonic Sony. I mean, I know it's very dramatic, but it's like because it's not. Understand that when people say like it's just business, yeah, business is evil because it's based upon greed. Doesn't always have to be. There can be a happy middle. But when it comes to big corporations, oh, it's always evil. It's always evil, man. Keep them in check. Keep them in check. We need gaming Jesus. That's what we need. We need salvation. I mean, so you know somebody in chat's, that's Lord Gaben. Oh, man. I don't know, though. Would Gaming Jesus buy a bunch of yachts and a fucking mega mansion? I don't know. We need a highly, highly respected individual in gaming who's like not going to ever do anything, you know? I don't know. It's getting too far. I'm taking it too far now. Gaming Jesus. Kojima. Kojima's gonna be like, I'm canceling Fizzant myself. Unless Sony gives me a physical disc. Yo, could you imagine? Sony be like, whoa, 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 hold up now. Kojima has the power. MBG, I don't know about any of this, but the slogan could be no disc, no PS6. I know. No need to thank me. You know what? Here we go. Another slogan. Where are my discs, Sony? Suck my disc. All right, maybe I need to rethink that one a little bit. I need to rethink that one a little bit, just a little bit, you know, because people might not understand what exactly we're trying to say with that one. Greed has limits. MBG, this is the happiest you've been in days. Did Sony go back to physical? No, I'm actually feeling physically a little bit better at this moment in time. I hope it sticks. I've been having up and down moments. Feeling a little bit better right now, so I'll take it. Greed has no limits. Oh, greed has no limits. I was going to say greed has limits. I'm not sure what we're trying to say there. PS6 can suck my disc. Maybe we could do something spinal related, because you know how you have discs in your spine? And it would be very pertinent for me because of my issue with my neck, which probably is disc related. Can we come up with something funny with that? Like how Sony doesn't have a spine. Sorry, Tarnished. Hold on. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. I keep taking too long. Exactly, Irfan. That's the joke. The petition crossed 140K. Keep it up. The petition is pinned in my comment in the chat. Shadowlink says, read my last chat, please, sir. Why didn't it show it, Shadowlink? Hold on. All right, hold on. I think my chat's all messed up right now. Chat summary. Why is it giving me the chat summary? Like, I'm here. Hold on, Shadowlink. Let me see if I can find it. I need to see if I can find it because I need to see if my chat's glitching out right now. Oh, yeah. Shadowlink, the last chat I got from you, I did read it. I don't know if you're behind or not, or if YouTube is like hiding what you said. But the last one I got is MBG. I don't care about any of this, but the slogan could be no PS disc, no PS6. I know. No need to thank me. Well, he has to be a little bit behind. Shadowlink, hopefully when you catch up, you'll realize that we went on a whole slogan tangent here. Coming up with ridiculous nonsense. All right, let me go back to these super chats though. Given the entire situation, the intensity of backlash, do you think Sony will back down? I would hope they will. Because the message they'd be sending if they don't is disturbing, to say the least. Tarnished, I'm almost at your super chat. Hang tight. Rat, you're saying EBG? How are you, man? You look depressed. I know Sony hurt you a lot. Fact is, I can't go anywhere other than PlayStation. It's my comfort space. Even after having a 4080 PC, I play on the PS5 mostly. I mean, that's, like I said, man, I'm not, like, if somebody comes to me like you just did, Rat, I'm not going to say, fuck that, destroy your PlayStation. I mean, maybe you should. I'll destroy mine soon. Eventually. We'll get there, I'm sure. I'm not depressed. I've been having some really weird physical stuff happening to me lately. And it's been causing me some problems. I'm going to be getting stuff looked at and hopefully taken care of soon. But yeah, if my mood is weird or I seem a certain way, that's probably why. That's why somebody was saying like I seem a little bit happier now. It's because like I'm in less pain. I have less shit going on. The big thing I've been struggling with lately is bad dizziness. Like that's why I couldn't stream yesterday. Like I was just totally fucked up, and I was like contemplating having to go to the hospital again. Where it's like, what the hell is going on? I have my own theory. This is my current theory. My current theory is that I'm experiencing cervical spinal cord compression. All right. I'll have that confirmed soon because I'm getting an MRI. They'll be able to see that. But a lot of the symptoms I'm experiencing seem to overlap with symptoms that would occur if your spinal cord was compressed. This is what happens. See what happens? See what happens when my disc failed me. My disc failed me. Now look at me. Now look at me. But thank you for that, Rat. We also have Kyle Say Stuff saying, my hot take, I honestly think Sony might be fine. Perhaps you're right. I mean, we have to consider that outcome. We fight. Sony removed my disc. Maybe they did. We fight. But the battle is lost, ultimately. Doesn't mean the war is lost, though. I said cervical, yes. Yes, I did, Michael. The war, ultimately, is consumer rights. But right now, the battle is the physical discs. But I think that if we do... So, on the flip side of this, guys, on the other side of it, if we do ultimately lose this, it's going to be it's fucking depressing. If we do lose this, though, we can continue the battle through consumer rights, and we're going to have to. Like, we literally, and yeah, that's where Steam will become more vital. Continuing to put pressure on Sony will be vital, because the one good thing about this outcome is if Sony does go through with this, they're going to probably be hit with many, many, many lawsuits. And there's a decent chance that one of those lawsuits could change something, significantly. But MBG, what did you say? Your spine is being compressed? Concerned member MBG. I can't confirm that. I got a CT scan of my spine down to like my middle back, and they confirmed I have mild stenosis. They confirmed that there's depending on how much you know about the spine, like the open spaces where your nerves come through, which, you have your like spinal cord in the middle, and then you have the vertebrae that kind of go out from the middle of the spinal cord, and then you have the nerves that go through. There's like less space there, and the problem is This is a pretty common thing, especially for people who get older. I'm a little bit young to be having this problem. It seems, at least from what I understand. But like, it's probably going to happen to all. Like, if you live long enough, you'll have some of these problems. They just might not be this bad. Um, the the problem is if you have like a bad disc herniation or rupture, which might be what I have. I have yet to confirm that though through an MRI. It's basically a portion of your disc. Ironically enough, we're still talking about discs. It kind of pushes back against your nerve endings that are coming out of your spinal cord, and it compresses them, and that can cause a lot of problems. But if the disc bulge, I'm talking about discs, I'm talking about bulges. Did you see fucking Captain America shit? Hold on. Lumbar spondylosis. I don't know if I have spondylosis or not. Did you guys see that fucking Captain America skin announced? What in God's name are they doing? Anyway, and what can happen is if you have a ruptured disc and it bulges enough, it not only will push your nerve root and compress it, but it can actually start compressing your spinal cord. And if you have spinal cord compression, which I don't know if I have that, this is a big thing I'm trying to get confirmed or not, because my symptoms are getting kind of crazy. My symptoms are getting concerning to a point where it's like, if I don't have spinal cord compression causing this, I have something else. And that's not good, If I have spinal cord compression, I'm probably going to have to get surgery. But if your spinal cord gets compressed, you can start having neurological issues. You can start having trouble with your hands. If it's cervical, the same thing can happen with your lumbar. You can have problems with your legs. But if it's cervical, you can start getting like dizziness. You can start getting, some vision problems. It can cause a lot. Your body will go kind of haywire. So, I've been having a lot of these symptoms. It is scary, dude. That's the thing. I ended up having to go to the hospital like a week and a half ago. I think it was a week and a half ago, because I woke up and I was like, I'm extremely dizzy. I can't even keep my balance. It's like very concerning. I'm like kind of panicking about it. A little bit of vertigo, a little bit of lightheadedness, the whole thing, dude. It was bad yesterday. Like I almost went to the hospital again yesterday. Where like, I'm like, I have tremors. That's another thing. And I'm looking all this shit up. I'm like, because I had this neck problem for months. And it wasn't getting, and it's still not better. And I've been talking to you guys about it constantly. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm seemingly getting progression of it. You could get tremors, feel shaky. It's really weird, dude. I'm not a doctor. I still have yet to get all the tests but I got a bunch of tests done when I went to the hospital. Got extensive blood work. They did a full neurological test on me. Was evaluated by multiple people. They did a CT scan, a CT angiogram. They did the whole thing. And they're like, well, there's nothing like life-threatening. No tumors, no vascular issues, no strokes, no nothing like that. And so but they all were aware like that I have this problem in my neck, and they're like, well, you're gonna have to get an MRI. And so I'm over here and I'm like, motherfucker. You know what's sad, guys? Do you know what makes me really fucking depressed? Sorry we're just on a side tangent here. You know what makes me really depressed is like, do you remember almost like 2 weeks ago at this point, I told you guys I was working out. I decided to try to do a workout. I didn't do anything crazy. I'm just going to lift some light weights, do a light full body workout. And then the next day on stream, I'm like, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. Like, I'm in so much pain. It was the day after that I woke up with that extreme dizziness. And I look back on that and I'm like, tell me I fucked up. Like, tell me that was like, dude, you were already not good and it was a problem. And after you did that, now you're getting spinal cord compression. You weren't getting spinal cord compression prior to that. You did that workout. You shouldn't have done that. Now it's progressed. I don't know. It's because I'm like sitting there. I'm like, bro, I'm going on like 2 months, 2.5 months without working out. I can't keep doing this. But now look at me. But I'll keep you guys updated. I mean, I'm going to have to because, like I said, if that's what this is and that's the cause of all my problems, it'll be good because it's like, okay, it's not good, but it's like I have an answer. But unfortunately, yeah, it seems like the only way you can cure that is through surgery. And if that happens, I'm going to have to really plan out what we're going to do. Because if I have to get surgery for that, I'm going to be out probably for like probably the longest period of time I've ever been away from my channel. So there's a lot that goes with it. I'm not, I'm getting ahead of myself, but so it's hard not to. I've immense anxiety, in case you can't tell. How am I going to fight the good fight, guys? Sony took me out. They're taking me out. They're taking me out. All right. Zanarkane, you're saying MBG, when do you get the results for spinal compression? Is this a cause? Is this because the gym workout went wrong? Or is it genetic or something? There's many, many causes for it. The most common is just wear and tear over time. So, like, my body probably was giving me signs throughout the years of working out and, heavy lifting and stuff that, like, this is kind of a problem. And your body compensates as best it can, but eventually you cross the threshold and it's like, I can't really do it anymore, But there's many reasons. All right. Let me see here. We have Kyle say stuff. You're saying very hard because of how many people stop playing GTA 6. I feel like it's the opposite, How I feel like people are not going to stop playing GTA 6. Craig, you're saying Spider-Man Brand New Day is tracking 200 million opening weekend. Yeah. Yep. Well, I don't know, man. Sony's probably looking at that and they're like, we'll be okay. Even though this is gaming, it's like, we'll be okay. Well, Zanarkand, I can't say at the moment. They're like Zanarkand. I appreciate your concern too, by the way. Like, and I want to keep you guys updated in the loop because I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was really nervous I wasn't gonna be able to stream again today, and I'm like, oh fuck, I do this for a living, obviously, but also, where did all the chat go? It's fine on my end. Zanarkand, just to keep you updated, I'm getting an MRI of my spine this Friday. And after that, probably I would assume within the week, hopefully within the week, I'm going to see my neurosurgeon and we're going to go over the results. And she's going to be able to tell me if my spinal cord's being compressed or not. She'll be able to tell me if it's looking likely I'm going to need surgery or not. And then, I'm probably also going to get a brain of my MRI, an MRI. I'm going to get a brain of my MRI. I'm also probably going to get an MRI of my brain. They'll probably have to do that too. I do have what's called a venous angioma, which is relatively common. It's not super uncommon, but I have to keep an eye on that, just in case, things can go wrong. A venous angioma, it's just basically like a bundle of blood vessels that are at slightly higher risk of things like aneurysm and stuff. But that they basically already checked that. They gave me a CT angiogram when I went to the hospital to rule that out because they knew I had a venous angioma and they basically wanted to make sure I wasn't having an aneurysm, or like a blood vessel burst. Anyway, you had 4 back surgeries going on your 5th. Yeah, that's the fucked up thing about them too. Is like because it's a structural problem, like the chances of you having to get it again are like so high. Because once you start getting problems of the spine, like they kind of don't go away. Like your body tries to adapt and overcome through adaptation, but it's limited. Like your body can only do so much. And back in the day, read Irfin's link. Oh, hold on. Back in the day, when people, I'm sorry, I keep going all over the place too. By the guys, all the way. I apologize. Hold on, what is this? Sony needs to start speaking to us again. Oh, we got an opinion piece from a reaction piece from Push Square. I'll check that out. We'll read that when I'm finished getting through the super chats. Sorry, I definitely got sidetracked. Doesn't help my viewership to I'm drowning in bad news lately. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been rough. I'm not gonna lie, it's been rough. Thank you. Yes, I will try to stay strong. I'm you know, yeah, we'll read it on stream, Irfan, for sure. Was that the right one, Titus? You were telling me to check Irfan's link. I'm assuming that was the right one. But okay, I've had PTSD from the PlayStation shock. Yeah, I blame Sony for this. It's probably, I mean, no. Well, you know the irony though, guys. Like the irony here, no joke, is things have picked up on my channel. You know, I'm being accused once again by people who are like, "Oh, you're grifting. You're just doing this for views and shit." It's like, shut the fuck up. You know, it's like, where were you for the last literally 4 years when I'm making daily PlayStation news videos, even when everybody's losing their minds, and I'm like, look, man, I'm not quite there. I'm not going to pretend to be there if I'm not there. This is the moment I arrived. You know, like everybody has their time, and it's like, this is the time where I'm like, okay, I've had enough. You know what I mean? I was never lying. Like, people think I'm lying. I was like, it was never a lie, dude. It was never a lie. People think this is all performative. I'm like, I wish. I fucking wish this was just I wish this was just like a persona, and it's not really me, and I'm a completely different person off stream, and what you're seeing is not real. I wish I was that good. I am not. So when you see Mental Breakdown Gamer, it ain't a joke. All you crying about discs. Should have kept that same energy when I started charging for online multiplayer. Though, to be fair, I wasn't even on the internet as a voice at that time. But yeah, perhaps you're right. Yeah, I'll keep you updated, Zanarkhan. No worries, bro. That's what a grifter would say. You got me. Ain't no way Capone's hit me with the life was like a box of chocolates, bro. How do I sign the petition? Says 223 Gaming. It's in my pinned comment in the chat screen right now. So if you click where it says direct donations, don't click the direct donate link if you're not planning on donating, but click the one below that. All right. I still have some more super chats. I apologize keeping you guys waiting. We got a couple more here, and then we'll continue on. Kyle Say Stuff, you're saying my hottest take. I hate this, but I think Sony might be fine. They definitely planned for this for years and probably aiming for that handheld, and that'll be a huge success because it'll outperform other handhelds. Well, there's definitely a chance you could be right, Kyle. You know, like, I'm not trying to discourage anybody. It's like I've been trying to tell people, because I know it's hard, where it's like, but I don't want to stop playing games. I don't want to cancel my digital pre-orders. You know, like, I don't want to cancel my PlayStation Plus. And it's like, I'm not saying any of this has to be permanent. You know, I understand that. Like, I'm trying to be reasonable about it. And it especially just comes off bad as if I'm trying to be so aggressive to people where it's like, let me tell you what to do with your time and money. Like, no. But it is one of these things where it's like, there is a window. I keep referring to it as a window. Like, eventually that window is going to close. That window is probably going to be open for like 3 months, but truthfully, it'll probably close much sooner than that if Sony remains silent and just pushes through this. You know, every day more people are going to walk away from it. Every day more people are going to be like, okay, whatever. And, you know, the fire will potentially die down. Potentially. But this is why I keep trying to tell people, like, it's okay. Like, you're not losing anything if you decide, I'm not going to pre-order any of these games. Maybe until literally the night it releases or the day before. You're not losing anything. You're saving money, you know, in the meantime, and you're sending the right message to Sony. Same with canceling your PS Plus. Same with, you know, and I even tell people, like, if you're going to buy a game, buy it physically. I don't know that it's going to work to turn any of this around, but the battle, even if the battle is lost, the war is going to rage on, probably significantly so, due to consumer rights. Um, it's like I've been trying to tell people, like, you want to fear what Sony's doing here because they're going to squeeze every last nickel and dime out of you that they can, and they're going to do it hard. They're going to do it fast. They're going to do it aggressively because they know there's a window for them as well, where how long until governments do intervene, until new consumer laws are passed. So in the meantime, Sony's going to focus on lining their pockets and profiting as much as they possibly can. And this is why, my read on this ultimately is that Sony's not worried, man. Sony's not worried. Not yet. Like, let me, they're worried about us. They're worried about the physical games and this whole situation. When I say they're not worried, I'm referring to um, digital consumer rights. They're not worried about that. All right. What they're worried about is how long when we go into the PS6 generation. One second, guys. How long when we enter the PS6 generation they can utterly wring you dry? Could it be the whole generation, perhaps? Give me a second. All right, time to find out if I'm diabetic or not. Yet another set of tests I have to do. Hold on. Um, it seems I'm okay. So without diabetes, less than 140 milligrams per deciliter, 2 hours after eating. All right, well, I'm good. I am good. Sorry, just literally, I had to check my blood sugar because this is something I have to do to rule things out in the meantime with the dizziness and whatnot. So that's good. Yeah, it's. I'm shocked. I eat like shit, dude. I'm like, bro, I eat so much sugar. It's awful. It's awful. And I'm like, well, dizziness, it happens to people who suddenly become diabetic or, diabetes building up over years. The good news is if it's type 2, it's reversible. Yeah. Well, my blood sugar's like 138, and that's 2 hours after eating a big lunch. I even had some waffles with some Shadowlink. I know this is going to pain you, man, but I had some blueberry waffles with some syrup. Not even like natural syrup. I'm just talking like that high fructose corn syrup shit. And I sit over here and I'm over here. Anyway, I'm like ill, guys. There's something wrong with me. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be that, so that's good. I have to track that. Hold on. I'm supposed to be writing this down. What did I say it was? 138? So would I take that at 215? 215. 2 hours after lunch. And it's at 138. So, all right. Sorry about all the interferences, guys. Just got to be responsible here. You got to do the responsible thing, All right. Be a med, you're saying, MBG, please look at what's going on with Sony disc factories, past and present. I think it explains a lot in terms of their motivation. What has been going on? Let me see. What has been going on with Sony disc factories? Of course, AI doesn't give me an overview for that. It gives me an overview for literally everything else. Typing that in, all I'm seeing is the reports that they're ramping down their disc production in their Austria facility. I believe it is. Be mad, yeah, you're gonna have to like let me know. Did you write that down, physical or digital? Shut up, Michael. What if I said physical, huh? Oh, what? What? You think because every other aspect of my life is digital that just means PlayStation should be digital too? I see how it is, Michael. I know you're kind. Hmm. They're converting to micro lens production. Yeah. They don't have to, though. They don't have to do that. Tarnished. Sorry it took me so long, Tarnished. I appreciate your super chat. You're saying Sony's tweet reached 10 freaking community notes. And yet they don't care. They don't care, man. Bismarck says, could GTA 6 have a bad release? No. I'll tell you what, though. If enough people cared, if enough people really cared and banded together. You ever hear the saying divide and conquer? What was my A1C hemoglobin test? Oh, I don't know. I haven't gotten that. But I've been checking my blood sugar for like a couple days now, and at no point has it reached abnormal levels, up or down. It's been completely consistent. They did check it numerous times at the hospital as well, and it was fine. So, you know, it seems like on the diabetic side of things, I'm clear. Divide and conquer, man. Divide and conquer. That's what's happening. We have Lund. He says, do you have a vestibular migraine when you play video games? Does it get worse? I mean, I've gotten headaches. The only thing I can tell you, Lund, is that there are some times, and it's happened a couple times recently, where like I'm feeling a little bit like cross-eyed, like I'm getting lightheaded. And when I was trying to play games, I noticed like it feels like my eyes keep like having to readjust and refocus, and I'm like I definitely am like noticing like, okay, I'm having a little bit of trouble following the screen and the camera rotation. Not a ton, but like enough that I noticed. Hasn't been too often, but it's happened a few times. Jaybird Gaming, he says, I'm a digital owner of most PS5, and it's mostly because of game sharing. I love physical discs. We need to keep fighting. Love your content. Thank you. And yeah, I didn't even get to talk about that. A lot of people choose digital because they game share. And if you don't know, I'm sure most of you do, but for those who don't, a singular account can share a digital game with another. You don't have to do too much to make it work. All you have to really do is just let them log into your account and set it as like the primary, and you can digitally share. And a lot, like, I don't know the number of people that do this, but enough people do it that it's been a thing for a long time. Xbox lets you do this as well. I have a distinct feeling that the moment we go completely digital across Sony and Microsoft, they're going to end that. Shadowlink's a little bit behind. Shadowlink, if you're hearing this, you're a little bit behind. What is it? Oh, I got to check this out, Irfan. He says, MBG, lock in, and bro, cut that goofy shit out. Fast food and up your health. If not for yourself, then your family. I know. I'm going to try. But it'll be a lot easier for me to lock in when Sony gives me my damn discs. And after I get my MRI. Banking on a lot of things here. Hold on, Irfan. Let me see what you're saying here. I'm caught up on the super chats finally. Check the link. Let me see. I don't think y'all realize how insane this ratio is. The top reply is only 10K likes away. Oh my God. Oh shit. Is that real? That can't be real. Oh, you know what? It is. So apparently my reply, I wasn't keeping track of this. This account, Nix, posted underneath the the official PlayStation announcement. I put a post. I said hashtag not buying PS6 unless it supports physical games. I lost track of this. I haven't checked it. Apparently, it's at 51,000 likes, and it's 10,000 likes away from actually ratioing PlayStation. No, don't let me rate, dude. If I end up ratioing PlayStation, it's fucking over, dude. We can't let that happen. Come on, me? No. Kaz Jam, you're saying, wouldn't it be crazy if Microsoft announced the Helix will have a disk drive and encourage game preservation? It would be. I'm telling you, you're gonna. I will give Sony that ultimatum. Like, Microsoft, announce a disk drive, announce you're supporting physical games next gen. I will buy Helix. That will be where I play. Unless Sony, you could win me back. No, you don't want to? All right. But do we think Microsoft's going to do that? Do we think they're going to do that? You are physically number one, but there are others that have more likes. Yeah, mine isn't the most liked. I know that. But I think what makes it interesting is that I'm straight up. The thing about my post reaching that level is I'm just straight up saying, like, we're not buying a PS6. And I think a lot of people, and I'm not blowing smoke up my own ass here. It's like, I just think a lot of people look at that reply and get behind it because it is the clearest message a PlayStation fan can send to Sony as pushback. It's not long, it's not dramatic. It's just, unless PlayStation 6 supports physical games. Now, Sony could be technical if they wanted and be bitches about it and be like, oh, it'll support physical games. You can play your physical PS4 and PS5 games through backwards compatibility with a disc drive. That's not what we mean. That's not what that post meant, that reply. The reply was, we're talking about physical PS6 games. If I want a device that can play, PS4 and PS5 games backwards compatibility on disc, that's the PS5. Vlond, you're saying, did you tell the neurologist taking magnesium oxide 500 milligrams or B2 400 milligrams daily can fix it about after 2 months? Ask your neurologist first. Yeah, I have this stuff that I bought. I don't think I took it yet. It's called Nervive or something. It's got a lot of what you're talking about. It's got like alpha lipoic acid or something like that. I'm probably going to take it with me when I see the doctor again and ask what they think of it. I've heard it's helped people. You are honestly leaving PlayStation and all their exclusives and go where exactly? It's all digital. Well, no, Gavin, Gav House. I'm saying, like, if Microsoft came out tomorrow and confirmed, they're like, we are going to have a disc drive with Helix and support next gen physical games. There will be next gen physical game discs. If Xbox did that, they got me, bro. Unless Sony's like, wait, no. If they do that, because that, like, if Microsoft is willing to actually go that far to win people over, that's an incredible gesture of goodwill. And I don't think they're going to. I would be stunned. I would genuinely be shocked. But I'll tell you what, though. You think it's dehydration? Well, let me keep hydrating then. If they do that, all right, let's read Push. Well, I got a few more direct donations, and then we'll read Push Square's article. Just got to make sure, All right. Got a few more direct donos here. PS Contraband, you're saying whether true or not, apparently Take-Two / Rockstar had Sony switch the app icon back to blue after the hate Sony's been getting. I saw that. I have no idea. I would love to know, dude. If that's why, oh my god, incredible, incredible. I'm not convinced though. I feel like there was just a certain limited period of time, but it was a short time, right? It was like what, like a fucking week? Like what was even the point? The idea that Rockstar decided it was best to distance themselves, the idea of that being true, I love that. That'd be amazing. But thank you, Michael, for telling Shadow Link that he's like behind. He doesn't care. He's trying to watch the whole thing. He wants to get the whole thing. Kyle Say Stuff, you're saying, I own some Sony stocks. Sony has authorized a share repurchase program that boosts buyers in their music business are booming. Thanks to everything. Interesting. Kyle, get out. No, I'm just kidding. That's interesting, though. PS Contraband, you're saying Xbox users are Game Pass players, so 100% digital. Wall Street Journal said today Game Pass is 30 million subs. They lost 4 to 5 million after the hike. They won't be physical. Yeah, that's true. You're right. Game Pass is the big thing on Xbox, and that is purely digital. I don't know, man. Like, Microsoft just might be willing to do something that may not actually make much sense for them to do. Like, I wish Microsoft would realize. I mean, I wish Sony would fucking realize this, but Sony clearly isn't going to. Not yet, anyway. We'll see. We still have more time, but it would be cool if Microsoft just woke up and realized, like, the only benefit to doing this is to win over a massive amount of goodwill, and that's worth it. That's worth it. You look around, you look at how bad things are right now. That's worth it. It'd be awesome if they realize that, but I don't think they will. I mean, Asha Sharma is paying attention. Shadowlink says he's caught up now. Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, be careful. He's driving. He's driving around, trying not to crash. Stay safe. Rich Rod, you're saying MBG's neck, his back, Sony can lick his kitty in his crack. Thank you, Rich. So we are going to witness another MBG migration. This time to PC, Xbox greater than PlayStation greater than PC, then Amazon Luna. A migration sounds awful. You know? Like, do I want to leave PlayStation? I don't. I have very little incentive to leave PlayStation. Keyword being incentive, you know? Do I have a good reason? Yeah. But incentive? No. This is where it's like, I don't like being in this position where it's like, well, where are you going to go? It's like, maybe nowhere. Maybe I just don't game. I mean, it sounds crazy. Even I think that sounds crazy, but it's like, I could take a break. I could take a long break, maybe. But there is this idea of like, you know, people tell me, they're like, do you think they're going to care? Oh, well, you think like everything's going to stop because MBG decides to stop gaming? And I know, like, well, no, it's not going to stop. So it's just it is like a matter of like, are you in or you out? And it's like, I can only be in at this point with PlayStation. Like, I look at my trophies, you know, I look at my trophies. I look at all the games I have. I look at the time I spent on PlayStation, the thousands and thousands of hours I've racked up. And I look at what's coming. And I'm like, yeah, it's hard to look at all that and be like, am I really going to leave all this? it's even harder to do that when I look around and it's like, there's not really anywhere. I always meant this when I told you guys this. There's not really anywhere I want to go. It's no offense. I've always told you guys, like, it's literally never been any offense to PC gaming. It's just, I don't feel excited for that. And I don't mean that offensively at all. Like, it just is what it is. It's like, for some reason, that doesn't sound exciting to me. And, you know, I'm sure there are people that will say, like, no, it's because you got to get into, trust me, once you get into an MBG, you know, it'll click. And maybe not. Or maybe it will. Or maybe not. I'm not sure. You know, I'll tell you what, like, the further this goes, the more open I'm going to become. So we're like, okay, yeah, I'll try it. Don't know if I'll stick with it, but I could try it. You know? Maybe Nintendo. I don't know. Like, I'm not going to go to Nintendo. I can't do that. Like, I can't do that because it's the only thing that would get me to flock to Nintendo is if I cared about their first party, and I just never really have. You guys know that. So it is cool that they have physical for their first party, like all, you know, completely on the cartridge and stuff, and they're going to continue to do, you know, like physical for their key cards. But yeah, I don't know. And that's why I'm looking at Xbox and I'm like, you know, there's a reason I was on Xbox in the past because they won me over, dude. You know, during the 360 days. And it's like, Microsoft, you got a new gen coming. And it's no offense to Sony's games, because obviously there are games that Sony has that might be the hardest part of all. This is why I'm still on the fence with Wolverine. Of like, I want Sony to pay. Don't want Insomniac to pay, but there's also that, like, you know, be honest, MBG, you want to play Wolverine? It's like, I know I do. I'm not going to hide that. But it's like, I don't look at Wolverine and I'm like, oh, that's just a one-off. Like, I know there's going to be other games in the future. It's like, I can't unsee it though. You know what I mean? Like, I can't unsee the fact that Sony's like, go ahead. Like, we know you're not going to leave, bro. And it's like, it makes me want to leave harder. Like, that makes it easier for me to look at all my trophies, all my playtime, all my games, and be like, it was a good run. It does. You know? Because it like, that's where it's like, yeah, it's like the level of disrespect. That's the way it comes off, man. And that's kind of why I left Xbox too. You know, like I feel like we were sitting there asking Phil for fucking almost a whole gen. Like, can you just like try to do something as good as Sony? And he's like, you know, MBG, I was more excited about the games we didn't show. And then they like show Crackdown 3, and I'm like, it's like, I can't support this anymore. You know what I mean? It's literally that. So it's like, I can't do this anymore. You know what's different about this though? And this is what makes this different, is that with Xbox, when I left, I wanted to go to PlayStation. Like, at that point, I felt like I was trying to resist PlayStation. Like, they got so much cool shit going on over there, but come on, it's not that good. And then I went over and I'm like, oh my God, like, it's true what they said, you know? It's, you know, it's different now. But that's the thing, is it's just like, there's nothing I'm seeing in front of me that just immediately makes me think like, that's better for me personally. Like that, like, I'm more excited for that. That's not to say my excitement for PlayStation is very high at the moment though, because honestly with this move, they've killed my fucking excitement. And I just, you know, I start to contemplate if I've just reached this depressing place of like, you know, because I was like, oh, let me try to imagine myself just saying, yeah, never mind about physical games. Fuck it. Fuck them. Let me just go all digital, and that's fine. And it's like, well, yeah, that's that's something that a lot of people are going to do or have already done. But it's just knowing that it's like, it's not really a choice. You know, it's like, this isn't you didn't make a choice, dude. You were told what you're going to do and you did it. And that's, and they knew that's exactly what would happen. And that framing of it makes it doesn't sit well with me, where it's like, you know, if that's really how a company, like, if that's really how PlayStation wants to treat their players and their fans that are screaming right now, that are fucking raging right now and trying everything they can to get their attention, to listen to them. If that's ultimately the message they send, it really is just a principle thing where it's like, I got to do what I got to do. Doesn't mean I'm going to go to Xbox. Doesn't mean I'm going to become a fucking PC Master Race guy. You know, time it'll all sort itself out in time. I'll figure out where, you know, what I'll do for gaming over time. It's hard to look that far in the future because, again, I'm not really too focused on that right now because I'm more focused on, like, I want to still believe Sony's going to do something. But, you know, I'm obviously running through that scenario a little bit here and there. Show us your Concord trophy. Quiet, Michael. Why would you bring that up right now? Stop trying to sabotage me, bro. But yeah, it's one of these things where it's like, it'll be easier for me to think about it and see where I go with my gaming life, I suppose, if Sony really goes through with this, you know? Another interesting thought is, you know, people have brought this up. They're like, what if Sony does some kind of compromise? I don't know what that would look like exactly, but, you know, there's no telling what Sony may or may not do. But I feel like I have a very good idea of not a good idea, but it's like, I know. I want to see them, like, listen, man, either Sony bends the knee or I walk away. It's not a matter of, like, shame yourself, Sony. No, it's like, humble yourself. Understand and accept that your fans are the ones who got you here. And I'm not just speaking on behalf of me. This isn't just me. I'm speaking on behalf of millions of PlayStation players right now. Like, let us know that you care a little bit. At least this much. At least this much to say, our bad. We'll make sure you guys can buy physical PlayStation. We'll make sure you guys have the privilege to give us your money in the way that you want next gen. At least respect us that much. And I'm just, you know, I'm not on board with the idea of, like, nah, we already got our plans in place. Sorry. You're not part of it? Okay. That's why I said, it's why when I was getting angry earlier. That's why when I was getting angry, I'm like, I hope that if they go through this, I hope the PS6 fucking rots. I hope that it all comes fucking crashing down on them. And they'll look back and they'll realize, God damn, MBG warned us. No, not me. Just like, God damn, our fans tried to tell us. And you know, Kyle Say stuff, he was saying, like, I'm afraid Sony's just going to be fine. And it's like, we'll see about that. Come out with $1,000 console, Sony. We'll see how fine you really are. It was already a hard enough sell, you know, when we assumed you'd be able to play physical PlayStation discs. This post is going to come back to fucking haunt them. I'm telling you. This is where it's like, Sony, you would be wise to have some level of foresight. Make no mistake, when the PS6 starts to get rolled out, you're going to have people like me and millions of other PlayStation fans that are going to be all fucking over them. They're going to be shoving this post down people's throats, dude. Down Sony's throats. You could take your PS6 and you can fucking shove it. All right. Irfan, let me see. You said read your last. MBG, a very positive development is happening. One that we really needed. PlayStation-focused outlets are pushing back against Sony, including Push Square, PS Lifestyle, and others. Sony pays attention to these. I hope so. I mean, dude, you know what? At what point do the PlayStation studios themselves every time they post. You know what? Hold on. Something else important I forgot to do. More action to be taken. Let's see. 223 Gaming, a $6 direct donation, says, just sign the petition. I think this is the right way to go. Hopefully Sony doesn't go through with this idiotic decision. It's what we're all hoping for. I'm going to go check the YouTube, the official PlayStation YouTube channel, because apparently they are uploading. Four hours ago, The Mound, Omen of Cthulhu. Let's go check the comments, shall we? We want physical discs. We want physical discs. We want physical games. Bring physical games back. We want discs, not digital. Incredible. Here we go. If you guys could, I'm gonna post this in the chat. Right click it and then open a tab. Try not to leave my stream. I'm not trying to redirect you necessarily away from my stream. Go leave a comment. Go leave a comment on their YouTube channel. I feel very imagine being this game, dude. This is no ill will whatsoever. In fact, guys, go out of your way when you're done this. Take a look at this game, The Mound, Omen of Cthulhu. Ready Your Expedition. This game shouldn't have to suffer because of Sony's dumbass decisions, but holy fuck. There's not a single comment about the game. There's not a single fucking comment about the game. I'm leaving my comment. I'm going to laugh when I'm fucking blocked. I'm probably... Guys, can you tell me, if you go to this YouTube channel, can you confirm to me whether or not I'm shadow banned on Sony's YouTube channel? I've had this theory for some time that I'm actually shadow banned. If you click newest comments on that video that I sent you on that trailer, I should show up. If you see me, then I have not been shadow banned. I think I'm shadow banned. Gav, you're saying I like physical, but I'm a realist. This has been incoming for a long time. I think if we do go all digital, we'll get better protections for those purchases. We'll see that, but do you see what you're placing your faith in, Gavin? And that's like, I'm not, you're, okay, you see the comment? Okay, good. Then I'm not shadow banned. Well, good. That's good, good. Gavin, I feel that you're not being unreasonable, but the only thing that I try to warn people about is like that last part there, that you think if we go all digital, we'll get better protections. You're placing your faith in, like, I don't know, man. I think ultimately, yes, like, yeah, eventually, but I think it's, by the time it happens, it's like the entire PlayStation community is going to be wrung completely dry. You don't see me? Wait, hold on. One person said they saw me. Another said they didn't. Let me check here. Let me double check. Okay, it got 8 upvotes. People can see it. People can see it. They're gonna shadow ban me now. No, but fuck this. Like, good. Keep the pressure on. Politicians listen for votes. Yeah, but we see. Are they gonna go through with it though? Talk is cheap. MBG, just to let you know, I'm not going to smash my PlayStation 5. That's fine. Don't do that. Don't smash it. PlayStation Pete, a member for 53 months, says 50% towards Doom, the Dark Ages Platinum. Nintendo could take over the market share from Sony if Switch 2 outsells PS5 and PS6. Well, if Nintendo starts flexing physical games, yeah. Yeah. Can Sony make games we own on disc stop working through updates on our console? I don't believe so. under very specific circumstances. So like if you bought a, let's say you have a PlayStation 5. Oh, Polygons, did I miss your super chat? I'm sorry, bro. Hold on. I apologize. Where's it at? Oh, there it is. You're saying, how do we fund a plane over Santa Monica for saving discs? I actually don't know. We'll have to look into that. That's funny, dude. Gaming Survivor, what's up, man? He's back. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Laman, I appreciate that, bro, but you're better off saving that code or giving it to somebody you know or a friend or a family member because I'm not going to use it. I very much appreciate that, though, man. That's very kind of you. But no, I'm good. If you want to like drop it in the chat, you can do that. You don't have to do that though. You know, if you have a friend or a family member in mind that can use it. But I appreciate that. It's a very kind gesture. Let's see. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. I don't think that was the only. Okay, yeah. So as far as I understand, Mr. Lonely, the idea, like if you buy a physical PlayStation disc right now for PS5, like I'm trying to think of a game that, you know, I'll just say Astrobot. As far as I'm aware, Astrobot, the entire 1.0 version of that game is on the disc. The gold, that's the gold master. If you buy a PlayStation 5, you probably have to connect it to the internet. Yeah. Oh, hold on one sec, guys. Hold on. Sorry about that. Had an important phone call that I had to take. So sorry to keep you guys waiting. Kept you waiting, huh? All right. Where was I at? So Resident Evil 9 1.0 works flawlessly. Played it 1.0. Monster Hunter Wilds works flawlessly. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart flawlessly. RE4 flawlessly. No need for internet when you got the disc. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, as far as I'm aware, Sony called. They're like, MBG, we're about to give you an offer you can't refuse. No, that's the whole thing. The preservation is on those discs themselves. In that, like, there was this whole argument about disc rot. And as far as I understand, as long as you take some level of care of your discs, they'll probably last like 100 years or longer. Like, disc rot seems to only really be a thing for people who neglect their stuff, you know? But even then, it's like, I mean, if we're talking about like 100 years, like, if you tell me in 100 years we're going to be digital only, I'm like, yeah. Like, of course. I mean, I would say yes. How could we not be in 100 years? I'd be shocked if we weren't. But don't do it. Lawman, don't do it, man. Don't do it. Don't send me a Halo code. I got it, dude. Don't do it. You're going to waste you're going to waste the code. I appreciate that, bro. You're very kind. You're very kind. I am not playing Halo. I wasn't playing Halo to begin with. I definitely ain't playing Halo digital on my PlayStation. I'm sorry, Lawman. It's the way it's got to be. Imagine that. It's like, you know what, guys? Never mind. I'm playing Halo digitally on my PS5 Pro. All right, let me read this article. Push Square says reaction. Sony needs to start speaking to us again. A theme of this generation has been Sony's communication, or lack thereof. I think the past week has proven that the firm's approach is no longer fit for purpose. In the aftermath of its decision to kill physical games, it's provided us with a few short sentences citing, quote, customer preferences. It's quit social media and doesn't appear to be in any rush to return. It's just not good enough. Meanwhile, misinformation has run rife unchecked online. The manufacturer's terms of service has been pulled apart, while misrepresented financial data has been used to prove points. Some of this could have been avoided if the company didn't hold its community in contempt and actually talk to us about its decisions like we're human beings. To be crystal clear, I'm not advocating for an Xbox-esque strategy here. I find the Redmond firm's eagerness to engage with many of its most toxic fans borderline embarrassing. But when explosive stories emerge, it needs to get out in front of them. I'm not excusing the firm's decisions, nor am I suggesting I'll ever be able to meaningfully silence the dissatisfaction. But perhaps some data about how its games have been performing physically would help contextualize why it's taken these decisions. How many units of its first-party games are selling physically? What are the projections in the coming years? What are the costs associated with operating its various facilities? How is it going to meaningfully improve the PlayStation Store? Why has it taken this long to implement the often requested features like refunds? How does it intend to close the gap on other rival storefronts, such as Steam? Well, I want to react to what Push Square is saying here. I have answers to all these questions. The answer is fuck you. From Sony, not me. That's what Sony's... Sony, do you think Sony gives a shit about those questions you're asking? You think Sony cares? Like, let's show you the data. They don't care. Sony's probably not going to show you the data, because if they showed you the data, it would show, wow, physical games are bought more than you made it sound, Sony. Especially for your own first party. Look at the physical sales on Astro Bot alone. Oh, you think Sony's going to come out and tell you we're going digital only, but don't be upset. We're going to drastically improve our refund policy, and we're going to give you better digital consumer rights, and it's going to be a great shopping customer experience on the PlayStation Store. We're going to work hard to improve that. No, they give you the fucking bare minimum. They say, we're doing this because this is what you want. Peace, we're out. By the way, we're shutting down PS3 and Vita stores. That's what they do. I don't know what the rest of this article says, but I actually don't agree with it. And here's why. It's too late for this now. This is why I've been talking this way to people. Like, the line is in the sand. And it's been made clear. Like, This is why I'm saying the only thing Sony can do to save this, in my eyes, is walk it back and apologize. Say, you know what? Let's just pretend none of this ever happened. What do you say? Okay. We'll do better. Okay. What this article is advocating for is like, dude, we've been asking Sony to fucking treat us decently by talking and communicating a little bit more the entire gen. And we've let it go because it's like, all right, I guess they just don't really want to do it that way. Hopefully it won't be reflected in what they actually do, the reasons people assume. And by that, I mean, we assume they're not doing this because they don't care. Hopefully that's not reflected. Now it's become undeniably clear. Undeniably. And I'll continue reading that, but we have Titus. He comes in with 2 $5 direct donations. Thank you, Titus. He says, MBG, the disc situation killed my excitement for Sony games, and I didn't want to buy Wolverine to punish them, but I was looking forward to the game. But I'm considering buying Wolverine on disc as the last game from Sony. You're considering it as well, too, right? P.S. No donation trophies from last week. Yeah, I have to figure out what's going on because, like, well, to be honest, it's mostly my fault. I went to go check because I try to keep track of everything, and I kind of realized, like, oops, I didn't properly keep track of it, but also half of the data I had was glitched for some reason. So I apologize. Like, there's a chance one of you today donating was probably supposed to be on that trophy. At this point, y'all get trophies. All right? Y'all get trophies. You drop any support, you got a trophy from me. I ain't going to be like Sony. Maybe a platinum for you, maybe a gold for you. No. Y'all get trophies. So Titus, you're all getting platinums. Wait, is that what we should say? Please don't boycott my channel. Don't y'all get discs. How about that? Y'all get discs, physical discs. You put those discs in, and it's a personal thank you for me. I'm just kidding. And Frank Cosmo comes in. He drops 10 member gifts on you guys.
Holy shit.
Frank Cosmo. Thank you so much for that, man. He came out of nowhere. Bro came out of nowhere. Oh, Papa, what's going on? Where'd you come from? Thank you for that, man. I really appreciate that. I think that actually just crushed our goal and got us over 25. That takes us to 26. Frank was like, hold on, let me. Where is it? Yeah, here's Frank. He comes in swinging. This is how that's the energy we got to bring. Yeah, Frank the Tank, bro. Has Many Tom gotten a membership yet? Something tells me no. Let me add that to the goal. So obviously, guys, I'm testing out just. I obviously always want to go beyond getting 25 members. You know that. Like, every membership counts and helps the channel tremendously. Like, you know, going from 25 members to 50 helps tremendously. I'm going to see if we can just make it a clear, understood thing that we always want to push to go beyond 25, but I don't want to like keep, I don't know. I don't feel great. I've never really felt great about constantly increasing the goal. We cap it usually at 100, but I think people, you guys are smart, you know? I think everybody understands that, like, the more the better, the more the merrier, but 25 is, I think, a good daily goal that we strive for. It's not even daily. I mean, for my streams have been kind of erratic, but MBG, when will the stream end? Please don't leave us right now. Thank you. Goodbye. Let me answer what I'm just kidding. Let me answer what Titus said. So, I mean, yeah, Titus, this is the thing. Like, if Sony, I'm going to be honest right now, Titus. It pains me to say this. Thank you, Frank. Thank you. It pains me to say this, and I don't say this with a defeatist mindset, but I do have to live in reality. If by the time Wolverine approaches, that being September 15th, and Sony hasn't said anything, I'm not saying it means we can't still win this battle, but the chances have dropped very low. You know, like we're just being real here, you know, where it's like, doesn't mean we have to give up the fight. Doesn't mean we have to throw it in the towel and say, oh, it was all for nothing. No, it won't. Trust me, we can, trust me. We have a long, long ways to go with all this. And this is, at least for me, this feels kind of like the beginning. I know people have been fighting this fight for years now, but I guess I'm just now part of it because it's like, you know, but like in terms of like Sony reversing the decision, if by the time we get to Wolverine, they still haven't said a word, which is hard to imagine. It's hard. Like, is Sony really willing to? Because think about it. Think about every new trailer that comes out for Wolverine just bombarded with "We want physical games." I don't. I hope the reason why Sony hasn't said anything today is because they're still putting it together. Their apology. I hope that's why we haven't heard from them. Because it's like, this isn't going away. Like, I'm not saying Sony's mindset won't or will change, where like maybe their mindset won't go away, where they're just going to constantly be like, yeah, we don't care. But it's like, dude, every fucking thing you guys post, every single thing for every game is going to get lit the fuck up. God help your next state of play, Sony. God help your next state of play. And that's what I mean, where it's like, I'm in this weird spot right now when I look that far ahead, where it's like, I don't want to say it's over if Sony doesn't say or do anything by the time Wolverine comes out. If you want to buy Wolverine physically, I'm not against that. Like, I've been trying to tell PlayStation, like, I'm just trying to be reasonable. I don't expect everybody to go full boycott, especially for that long. You know, like, if you're going to send a message, you know, like if you're going to partake, the next best thing truly is buy physical. I said this in a post and people got really upset at this. People got really upset. People got really fucking upset. I put out a post and I was like, cancel your digital pre-orders of Wolverine. Buy it physically. I said, you want to make the Sony executives look fucking dumb in front of their own shareholders? You know how you do that? Let's all of us, the entire PlayStation community, as many people as we can get, buy Wolverine physically. Sony's going to have to show the data for Wolverine, and it's going to be like 80% physical, 20% digital, or some crazy shit like that. 75%, 25% digital. Imagine how dumb Sony would look trying to do this. And then, but they have to show that our latest big tentpole exclusive actually sold mostly physically. I don't know. I wonder if things changed, Mikey. They switched up directors in the middle of developing Wolverine. It's possible things changed, but stop buying games and it'll put double the pressure on Sony. I mean, ideally, if you want to know, I'm just going to put this out here for everybody. I'm not saying you have to do this, but it's just, how could we hurt Sony? Like, how could we hurt Sony? How could we bring Sony to their knees? Forcefully. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean? Like, we have to, like, Sony, you need to fucking back down here. Okay? You need to listen to us, the consumer. The only thing you need to do is nothing. Literally. Nothing. Just make one rule for yourself. I give $0 to Sony. For anything. For anything. I don't turn my PlayStation on. You just remove yourself from Sony PlayStation entirely. You do that for literally 1 month. If enough people did that for 1 month, it's fucking over for Sony. They will fucking come screaming back. Total blackout. It's hard though. It's hard to pull something like that off because you need a lot of people on board. And a lot of people are not going to do that. So I'm trying to give the best advice I can where it's like, all right, well, buy physical, you know, buy physical. Try to just play physical games for the next couple months if you can. Let their data skew their data, you know, skew it. Do everything you can. But that'd be so hard, dude. Dude, if we could somehow, I'm more focused on Wolverine. The Wolverine's a tough one. I don't know that I don't want GTA to pay the price either, but if we could somehow convince Rockstar to make a physical GTA 6 disc, that would be different too. Titus with another $5 direct donation. Thank you, man. He says, I can wait playing the game or even buy it used at some point. I just thought buying it on disc helps the most during a situation, but maybe I'm wrong. No, it's a tough one. It's like, it's good for Insomniac because they're not paying the price per se for Sony's stupid decision. And you are sending the correct message, which is, I'm buying the game physically. I'm buying, like, we're telling you, Sony, we're telling you directly, we're buying the game physically. The problem is, I think Sony, I talked about this earlier, like, the problem is how prepared Sony is for this. That's what frightens me about it, where I'm like, God, you guys suck. They're like fortified, man. We're ready to eat fucking shit for like 3 months. It's like, this is why I'm saying like a full blackout is like, would like, we got to shake them. We got to shake. This is why do you understand how fucking infuriated I've become? Sometimes. Not really infuriated. Not like literally like visibly angry or like really pissed off for real, but just like mentally, like the people I encounter that are like it's like, you fucking corporate bootlicking son of a bitch. Like it and maybe, I don't know, like people are like, oh well, you were like that too. I'm like, I don't know that was ever that bad. Like, trust me, I've had my moments, but it's like, Christ, what are we looking at here? MBG, let's be clear. This is not about physical versus digital. This is about the inevitable slippery slope to cloud-based rental services for gaming, where you own nothing and can't access game data. Yeah. You're right. I mean, I also think it goes beyond that, though, Gaming Survivor. Like, I think this is a moment. Like, there are moments throughout gaming history where we checked these companies collectively. We fucking check them. This is the next moment we're supposed to be checking them, and too many people are like, nah, I'm good. Vlund, you're saying, remember when I stated Sony will later remove your library of games? I read if you don't use your account in 3 years, everything is deleted. Yeah, I had to delete a post that I put out about that because apparently, and this is where things do get, it's tough. You don't want to run rampant with misinformation because then you're going to get people, you start fighting a battle with misinformation. It's like, then it's going to cause even more problems. But apparently that is a European law. From what I understand, like a bunch of people were letting me, they're like, this is literally for every company. Like, this is a European law, and it doesn't even pertain to you if you're in the US. So it's not even Sony's choice, it seems. I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of weird. Yes, let's worst case scenario, everybody spends more time outdoors. We're gonna fight the good fight outdoors. Continuing with the Push Square article, they say, I will give Xbox CEO Asha Sharma some credit. She's actually communicated the issues her company faces. She's not sugarcoated the financial pressures put on the division, and she's been open about the memory crisis. Why can't Sony do that? Would it still be accused of greed if CEO Hideaki Nishino came out and told us how much the PS5 costs to manufacture right now? If it talked to us like people and explained the problems it's facing? Well, yeah, because they don't do it because they know how stupid they sound. Well, because Sony's the company that's been bragging all generation about how profitable the PS5 is. PS5's number one, most profitable console generation ever. So, yeah. So they know they can't do that because we're going to turn and be like, can't you just, not be greedy? But continuing, it says here, unpopular decisions will always be unpopular decisions, but an explanation can go a long way. PlayStation used to be better at this. It had great public speakers able to front out tough times. There's still plenty who disagree with the likes of Shuhei Yoshida, Andy House, and Sean Layden, but at least they defended their decisions with dignity. But what decisions did they make that were so horrible compared to this? The worst part about this all, it says the worst part about all this is that it has the means. And this is the last paragraph of the article, I think. Yeah, this is the last paragraph. It says, I accept Sony is never going to speak to someone like me about these things, but it doesn't even need the media for this. It has official channels visited by millions, like the PlayStation blog and PlayStation YouTube, venues where it can speak directly to consumers. There was a time when I think PlayStation's cloak and dagger approach served it well. That time has passed. If it continues to let these stories linger and allow these negative sentiments to swell, then I do think there will be consequences. Sony may think it can continue to stay on the course and people will accept it. It's crap regardless. I disagree. The repercussions of its actions won't be felt immediately, but they're going to bite eventually. It needs to revise its approach before it's too late. So in the end here, though, even though I've disagreed with most of what this write-up from Push Square said, I do agree with that. Even I think what is a Sammy Barker of Push Square, even they understand that like this is going to come back to bite them in the ass, dude. It's going to bite them. Eventually maybe we will fund a better PC. My PC is pretty good for now. All right, hold on. We're going to let me go check what's going on here. You know what's crazy? I put out this post about Xbox. And oh man, it made people really angry. But I don't know, man. Like, it feels almost impossible to talk about Xbox today. It does. It really, because like people are going to think I have to talk about it briefly though. So it's been announced Xbox is going to be laying off 3,200 total employees over the next fiscal year. They're starting with 1,600 employees, which is 8%. They're basically in total over the next fiscal year, they're removing 15% of all of Xbox. It announces what it calls its most significant restructure. I should probably just read Asha Sharma's post. If I could find it. All right. Let me bring up Twitter now so we can read Asha Sharma's post, because it's a she says quite a bit. You'd never see, I mean, it's true, you would never see Sony ever post something like this. Hold on, let me move this to a new window. All right. Sorry, it's taking me so long. Okay, Asha Sharma, she says, this is an important email I sent today to all employees at Xbox. Team, we are beginning the most significant restructure in Xbox history. After careful consideration, I've made the difficult decision to reduce our team by approximately 3,200 throughout fiscal year 27. This will include approximately 1,600 role eliminations today. And in addition, 4 studios will leave Xbox to go to new management. I recognize that a year-long restructuring creates additional challenges. Unfortunately, it's not possible to make all the necessary changes in a single day, and I wanted to be direct about the scale. I know this is painful. These changes will directly affect people who have poured their creativity into building Xbox. Many joined us through acquisitions, while others were recruited here or sought us out because they love this industry and they loved Xbox. Today's decision does not reflect their talent or dedication. Our business today is not healthy. We are operating at margins that are 3 to 10 times lower than comparable platforms and publishing businesses. We entered Gen 9 with a smaller install base and a higher cost structure. To grow, we bet on Game Pass, multi platform, and a broader portfolio of content. While those businesses have created meaningful value, they did not grow at the pace we expected. As that happened, our core business weakened, and now we added more teams, more investment, and more time, hoping for a better outcome. And now the industry is facing the most severe hardware crisis in its history. We must reset Xbox. First, we will reset our content portfolio. Since 2018, we have aggressively expanded our studio portfolio, while the number of games created each month across the industry now outpaces the last 10 years combined. We now find ourselves competing not only with the largest publishers, but also with smaller independent studios. It is neither possible nor desirable to own every great independent studio. We have also learned that we are not the best home for every type of studio. In a typical year, we lost 64 cents for every dollar we invested. At Jesus, as we reset Xbox, we will help independent creators succeed by providing open development tools and audiences to realize their vision. Compulsion Games and Double Fine Productions will return to management and transition to independent studios with their IP catalog and runway for their next games. Ninja Theory and Undead Labs have entered terms to join new ownership with funding to complete and grow Senua and State of Decay 3. In France, Arcane's management is beginning required consultation with its works council to review potential strategic options. We are also making reductions across other units and in some cases shifting investment to focus on higher priority projects. These changes vary in size across Activision, Bethesda, ZeniMax, Blizzard, King, Mojang, and Xbox Game Studios. None of our first-party publicly announced games and projects are being canceled as part of these reductions. In addition, Mojang and King will report now directly to me. These two studios have increasingly become platforms and are our largest bi-monthly active players. They bring critical geographic, demographic, and differentiation to Xbox. Second, we will reset our platform. We know that great technology gets better when it gets simpler, not bigger. Today, in some parts of the company, work passes through as many as 14 layers of management. Jesus. Our platform teams are 40% larger than they were at the start of the generation, even as our player base and players have declined. That complexity has slowed decisions, blurred accountability, and made it harder to deliver for players. As we reset Xbox, we will simplify. We will reduce management layers to no more than 5. Probably very smart. And where possible, 3. We will deliver success through a flatter organization that is built around makers, individual contributors focused on building, player coaches, leaders who remain deeply involved in the work while developing their teams, and directly responsible individuals, DRIs, who own key decisions and outcomes. And we will streamline how we work across our tools with a cleaner code base, shared services, and 50% reduced vendor spend. Jesus, this is a lot. This is a big post. Third, we are resetting how we operate. As Xbox grew our headcount, we became more fragmented. Team studios and functions often operate independently, and it became harder to work towards a shared goal, make the right trade-offs, and get things done. For the first time, we are establishing a chief operating officer with end-to-end P&L responsibility across content, hardware, platform, and services. Helen Chang has been promoted to this role and will report directly to me. Over nearly 2 decades at Xbox, Helen had helped build some of our most important businesses, from Xbox Live to leading Mojang and the Minecraft franchise. She will bring our business together under one operating model, making sure we make clear investment decisions, learn from our successes and failures, and hold ourselves accountable for results. Thank you, Dave McCarthy, who is retiring after 17 years with Xbox. Dave has played a defining role in building a platform that millions of players rely on every day and has been a trusted partner through many of the biggest moments in Xbox's history. We wish him all the best. These changes are about a bigger future for Xbox, not a smaller one. The next decade of gaming will be larger, more global, and more creative than anything we've seen before. This year we'll invest as much in Xbox as we ever have, but because that fucking makes sense. That makes total sense. But we'll invest with greater focus, greater discipline, and greater clarity. Of course. In all services making Xbox where the world plays and creates. I want Xbox to be one of the few companies that entertains more than 1 billion people each day and gives everyone the opportunity to create and connect. I know we can achieve this goal. Xbox has many of the most beloved franchises in entertainment history, talented studios around the world, and we will return to growth in 2027. History is full of companies that mistake longevity for inevitability. We will not be one of them. Holy shit, that was a lot, man. What the fuck? Why was it so much? Like I'm like burnt out from reading that. Jeez, I don't even know where to go from here. Hold on, I need a breather. You have to shout Xbox whenever you read it. 14 fucking layers of management. Are they are that stupid. Like so everything we've said about Xbox prior to this new leadership coming in is like 14 layers of management. All right, well, AI slop tweet, you think so? Well, people are just retarded enough to be happy with this, you know? They are. Nah, I'm not saying there isn't any good to take away from here from this though. That's a lot of fucking words. We got a new plan, guys. Chat GPT statement. It's too much. Like, for fuck's sake. Well, you know, to be fair, it's like it's the email, right? So they're being transparent. They're sending you the whole email. I'll give Xbox credit here. People were getting really mad at me. I'm tired of dealing with retards, dude. Like I'm exhausted. Okay. But NBD, they're not a complete disgrace because they didn't shut down studios like Sony. Like, okay, Billy. Sorry if your name's Billy. No offense. It's like, okay, yeah, you know what? Hey, hold up though. This ain't as bad as Sony, right? Let me let you in on a little secret. You ready? Both Sony and Microsoft suck ass. Okay? They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about their employees. They don't give a fuck about these creatives. Okay? They're both cutthroat corporate entities that are for profit. This isn't a matter of, well, you know, Xbox didn't do this or PlayStation didn't do that, so they're a little bit better. No. I will listen. We got it. I did say that. I will say this though. We got to take the W's where we can get them. And I will give Microsoft this W. I will give them this W. It's like a small W next to a big L. W. You didn't cancel any games. You didn't shut down any studios. You let these studios go. That's a W. I wish Sony would do that. I will say, I like that. I wish they would have done that for Bluepoint and their other studios. That's a W. And I got to give them that. They didn't have to do that. They could have fucking axed them and tossed them in the trash, and that's that. So I got to give that small W. I say this as somebody where I don't know what the future of my future gaming in the future looks like for me, but State of Decay 3, I was worried that was going to get canceled. Senua, they're letting them go out. It's a mini W, and it's the better outcome. I have to admit. It is better to see these studios given a chance to live and possibly thrive. I'm not sure how well they're going to fare, though, without Microsoft's backing, but that's better than shutting them down. I will give them that. But do not make any fucking mistake about this, and this is unfortunate because you're already seeing this, you just see how people want to just suckle off of these corporations, man. They really do. At any opportunity. Like, do you not understand that they're killing 15% of all Xbox, the biggest gaming entity in the world? She just came out and this is like doomsday for like thousands of devs and studios. And, but it's new management, MBD. I don't give a fuck. Why do you think we were fucking yelling at Phil for over 10 years? What were you doing? What were you doing? You know, but they're, oh, you should stick to PlayStation. You should shove it up your ass, buddy, because you're not helping nothing. I'm helping more than you are. Now y'all got me yelling. Oh, hold on. I gotta watch my neck. I gotta watch my neck. Ray, what a compulsion. Are you able to tell me what they said? Did they say something important? I just did so much reading. I don't want to keep reading, man. Compulsion and Double Fine, on the other hand. Arcane's fate still up in the air. I'm just saying, like, people are trying. Yes, let me know. Don't let up the pressure on Sony. Oh, trust me, we won't. Sony's bad too. Yeah, Sony's awful. Sony's the worst. But, like, please understand, for fucking 10 years, what we've been trying to tell these Xbox bros, okay? What we've been trying to tell them. What we've been trying to tell them about Phil Spencer and their fucking dumbass leadership. Maybe Asha will be the one to turn it all around, and she has to reset it. And the, you know, the hammer, the ire's got to fall on her because she's got to be the one to make these decisions. But it's like, what have we been saying? We've been saying this for years, man. And I get it. Some people might say, well, hey, we've been saying shit about Sony for years and you guys didn't listen. Okay, sure. But now that our eyes are open, hopefully collectively, we can all see shit for what it really is. And this is where it's like, look, man, I said it numerous times on the stream. Asha, announce a disk drive, announce you're supporting discs next gen. Then we're going to have a different conversation. But people got really mad because I put out this post. They got really fucking mad, dude. Look at this. Hold on, let me go back to it. I put out this post. I said Xbox is a complete disgrace. You know, anyone really surprised by their incompetence reaching new heights? I didn't think so. Anyone who didn't see this outcome saw a version of Xbox in their mind that never existed. Now, I did say some people were right. No studios being closed and no games being canceled is not the absolute worst outcome. That is absolutely true. But this all could have been so easily avoided. People are so fucking mad at me, dude. And their fanboyism shows. They're fucking, like, their fanboyism, where it's like, but, like, no fucking buts. Period. Like, Xbox, when I say it's reached a new level of incompetence, I'm not saying it's Asha Sharma the one being incompetent. I'm saying this is the peak. This is the peak consequence. Maybe I should have worded it better. This is the peak consequence of their fucking incompetence. Okay? This is the fucking result. Like, we told that I'm just saying, man, like, it could have been easily avoided. It could have been. It's not even about, like, we told you. I mean, it's a little bit about we told you so, but it's just, I fucking hate that people are like, oh, yeah, well, you know, this has to happen. Like, no, it fucking didn't. The fuck you mean this has to happen? Microsoft didn't have to fucking eat up half the industry in the name of Game Pass. Who the fuck was out here saying Game Pass sounds fucking retarded for a company to do? Hey, it sounds great for you. You're going to get in for $1. You do understand they want to fucking get you in for $1 to then shake you the fuck down, right? I'm just tired of it, man. Like, I'm tired of these guys. I've been tired of these guys. I'm tired of all these guys now, even on the PlayStation side. Like, I'm just tired of holding back because it's like, yeah, everything's coming to a head. It's all fucked. And this is where, like, yeah, maybe now more people need to activate. Wake up. These corporations, it's true. These corporations, you're fucking dirt under their boot. You're dirt under their boot. They look down upon you. They spit on you. They spit on you. They hope you'll smile back at them and say, thank you. Thank you. And some of these guys, that's exactly what they're doing. You don't have to be, I mean, I'm not saying everybody's got to be this vicious about it, but it's like, just understand. Rich with a direct dono says, Asha sells bathwater, joins PlayStation, brings back discs, becomes a winner in my eyes. I can fix her. She brings back the discs. Do it. It doesn't mean you're all any less slimy, but it means you're listening. I'm telling you, that would be amazing. That'd be like a direct response. Like, we're fast tracking it. We hear you. Oh, you do. You heard this. Meanwhile, Sony, we hear you, and we want you to shut the fuck up. You're ruining our plans. This guy responded to me in this post, and he's like, "You just stick to being a PlayStation content creator and focus on something." Like, no, like, suck a dick, bro. Like, I'll do what I want on my fucking channel, on my fucking Twitter. You're on my Twitter, bitch. You respond to me. You give me that engagement. I'm not gonna show the I'm not trying to end people out here, man. Okay? I'm not trying to end people, but it's like, no. I will talk about whatever I want, whenever I want. And there's nothing that you could, like, you know what? You can do something about it. Walk the fuck away. Unfollow me. Stop giving me your engagement. It's easy. It's literally the easiest thing to do. You want to hurt any of these companies. You want to hurt me. Walk away. Walk away from the company. Walk away from me. Walk away from it all. That's how you hurt them. But coming to me and telling me what I'm going to do with my content or my Twitter, oh, I don't think so. I do not think so, my friend. I did reply to him politely, though. You know what I said? I just said no. That's all I said. I said more right now. This is what I wanted to say, but I'm like, I'm just telling him no. To be fair, some people were polite. They were like, well, at least they saved the studios. But make no mistake. Microsoft announcing they're slaying 15% of their total workforce on Xbox. Remember when they did a thing that Microsoft, that a corporation would never do? Remember when they straight up lied? And this is a flat out fucking lie where they're like, you remember when the trade commissions, they were like, how do we know this isn't going to result in mass fucking layoffs? And Microsoft was like, nah. No, come on. We're not going to do that. It's just been fucking layoffs ever since. But we all saw that. But we all know. We all knew. Still whining? You're still here. Sit on it, bro. How's that saying go? Sit on it and fucking rotate, bitch. Oh my God. Spit on it. Dude, that's what my grandmother used to say crazy ass shit to me like that. She was crazy. She's like an old Italian woman. Dude, she'd be like, sit on it and rotate. I'm like a young kid. I'm like, what? I was like a jerk. I don't know. I was an overly rambunctious kid, and she would get pissed off at me. So you guys know why I get like this sometimes. My grandmother would tell me to go pound sand. Incredible. I still don't know what that means. Go pound sand. I'm gonna bring that back. What does that mean? I need to look. You think I would have looked this up by now? Well, maybe I don't look it up where you guys can see it in case it means something real bad. And I'm saying it. Hold on. Pound sand meaning. Go pound sand is an informal and dismissive American idiom used to tell someone to go away or stop bothering you. Oh, okay. So it's really not that bad. It says usage and tone. This phrase is generally considered a polite G-rated alternative to harsher profanities. My God, really? It doesn't sound G-rated. Apparently, it's a less harsh alternative for expressions like take a hike or get lost or go jump in a lake. Go jump in a lake. Go jump in a lake. What are these sayings? Like take a hike and get lost, but jump in a lake. Well, there we go. Okay. I always thought it meant something real bad. But I know sit on it and rotate. That's not good. Anyway, what the hell was I talking about? But yeah, look, man, it's a polite way of saying fuck off. Yeah. At the end of the day, this isn't about who's worse, Sony or Microsoft. Right now, I care much more about what's going on with Sony than Microsoft. Like, it is awful that this has to happen, Like, it sucks to see people fucking losing their livelihoods like this just because of corporations like, oops, our bad. Like, there's an argument that maybe some of y'all should have never been hired in the first place because Microsoft was headed down a bad path. But, we'll see what happens with Xbox. But, yeah. If there was any question, the fucking type of damage that the last leadership did for Xbox, Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, whoever else that came and went, this is the damage. Will Asha Sharma do some new damage of her own? Maybe. Oh, I don't doubt it. I do not doubt it. But yeah, we're finally, we've reached the full scope. We can now see it. It's in focus, the extent of the damage that's been done. And Rich with the super chat says, let me get Asha bathwater in the chat and be gangsta. Stop it, Rich. Calm down. God damn it. Asha bathwater. The Ashinator. Yeah, well, this ain't the last. This ain't the last of their of cutting their operations. Now, let me do a follow-up here. Let me go check. I know there was a bunch of reports coming out. I haven't been paying attention to them. Chris Avalone says, I'm betting Avowed 2 was not canceled. It's too far along. According to Jeff Gardner, the founder of Something Wicked Games and ex-Bethesda Game Studio, he has heard 35 people were laid off at Bethesda Game Studios and 95 people were laid off at id Software. Wall Street Journal says Game Pass has about 30 million subs currently. Tom Warren says Blade has been delayed and is running over budget. Arcane Studios is reviewing strategic options, which could take months. Jason Schreier says id Software and ZeniMax Online Studios are not shutting down, but they are cutting a significant number of staff. I mean, dude, 95. Hold on. 95 were cut from id Software. Then what? How many working at id Software? That sounds like a lot, dude. Well, id Software's done. Wait, hold on. The studio previously had a headcount of 165 to 200. However, they lost 95 employees. Okay. I was going to say like 70 to 100 employees and you lose 95, you're done. Apparently, prior to losing 95, they were between 165 and 200. So they're now between 70 and 100 people. So, okay, so they can still function. That's a lot, though, for a single studio. That's all I'm seeing so far. Well, there we go. There we go. That's where we are. Hold on. Let me go back to Twitter here. 5 days of silence, 146 million views. It speaks for itself. Xbox is trending. And I wanted to put this post out. This was important. You will see Sony hide behind today's Xbox news. This is where we are, people. One greedy company hiding behind another greedy company's bad news to avoid addressing their own. For fucking shame, Sony. Get bent, Sony. This is bullshit. Cowards hiding. Unless you come out, unless it's like, hey, we needed a day or two. But assuming you're I think you're hiding behind it. I think they're hiding behind it. Deplorable. And this is where I'm just trying to let people know. You know, I'm trying to let people know here with these posts that I put out here. You know, Sony shut down Bluepoint. Sony shut down Bluepoint. Other studios shut down and Sony gave them no choice. Microsoft is letting multiple studios go independent and decide their own fate. Yes, one is objectively better than the other. But 3,200 Xbox staff being let go is bad. Like, make no fucking mistake. That is bad. That's like kind of colossal. And, I said, I understand we are at a point where we got to take the wins where we can get them. But, studios and games not closing or shutting down, sure, it's a win. But you zoom out and you realize what led to all of this in the first place and just how much damage was done. Then I ask people here, how are you currently feeling about PlayStation? Guys, how do we think they're feeling? We think they're feeling good? Got over 700 replies on this post, by the way, in a few hours. Skabibble your nibble says everyone needs to get equally as hell. No. I think you would say nothing about Sony's age verification plans as well. Yeah, but I think that's a UK thing, man. Which we're more worried about that. Going like other governments starting to implement that too, which is a problem. It's hard to really just blame Sony about that because that's compliance with the government at that point. I don't think they have much of a say in that. Let's see what the replies are. Let's check most liked. Excuse me.
Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in, but the cream.
This is the PlayStation community right now, brothers.
Outside interference here. In my moment of glory. Yeah, no, I'm living in a nightmare. And I am the cream. On balance, off balance, doesn't matter. I'm better than you are, yeah. I'm on my way. And nothing is gonna stop me. Nothing's gonna stop me.
I mean, it speaks for itself. Rise up, brothers. How are you feeling about PlayStation currently? This is the top fuck PlayStation. I love the blue mask and blue hat. This is it. This is it. I love this. I'm saving this. I'm saving this image. This is going to go on my thumbnail at some point. I mean, at the rate things are going. I'm not playing that again. It's too long. We're living in a nightmare. Oh, man. Yeah, I'll have to get more sound bites. Oh, here we go. How most of us feel. We're getting... Oh, man. Oh, wow. This is really custom, too. With the discs on the ground. That's great. That's great. The mother has a handgun. Incredible. I've canceled my subscription. I do not plan to buy PS6. Their stupid God of War has become DEI. Okay, well, that's fine. And Wolverine looks like PS4 graphics. God damn. With Jean looking like she got hit with the fugly stick. Christ. I don't know if I'd go that far, brother. Like, Jesus. Well, hey, People are agreeing though. Furious, their communication. Hold on, their communication is terrible. They clearly don't care about their fans, and I'm glad they're getting the backlash they deserve. We should not stop, at least till they revert it. I agree. Yeah, I agree. I'm a heart that. I agree so much. I'm a heart that. Well, hold on, I'm sorry, bro. I don't think I can agree with this guy though. I think he took it too far. I don't agree that Wolverine looks like PS4 graphics. Oh my god. Okay. Oh man. MBG, Kojima knows the dystopia we're headed towards. Virtual Man, you're saying those brainless shills constantly defending every bad decision only makes Microsoft and even Sony feel more comfortable with doing whatever they want. Exactly. I mean, look, man, I displaced my goodwill. True, and I mean that. This is why I'm like seething for vengeance, because it's like I spent this entire gen and I get it. Like, I've watched Sony make many mistakes and have many fuck ups, but I always thought like they're struggling. They got to learn some hard lessons. And I displaced my good faith in like, they're not going to do us dirty like that. Like, they've been through this with the PS3. People would tell me. I'd literally have people come in super chat and they're like, well, MBG, aren't you worried they're going to get arrogant again? And I'm like, how could they? Like, they literally lived through this. You know? They literally lived through this with the PS3, and they almost died. Irfan, thank you. I'll check that in a moment. Remind me if I forget. Although I only have Discord on my phone at the moment. What is the video? Dustin Furman from Sacred Symbols cancels PlayStation Plus. Good. He's joined the fight. Fucking hands are shaking so bad, dude. My left hand for my neck. Oh, I can't wait to get this shit sorted out. Dude, I'm telling you guys, I may end up having to stream from a fucking hospital bed. I'm at a point. I highly doubt they're not going to have to do surgery on my neck to fix this shit. But I'm going to have like that neck thing on. You know what I'm most nervous about? I know I'm jumping the gun here. What I'm most nervous about is if I have a massive herniated disc, I need a disc replacement surgery. Sony made me have to get disc replacement surgery in my neck. That's how bad this is. If they have to do disc replacement surgery on me, though, if it's true, if I have a massively herniated disc, that shit's not healing on its own. They're gonna cut here, right? And they have to like move your like entire all this. They gotta like move it over, and then they gotta replace your disc. Like, they literally have to move your shit to get to your spine. I'm so like, if I end up having to get that surgery, I'm so nervous about it because I've heard like it can be difficult to like, your voice can be messed up for a little while, and you can struggle to get swallowing back for a little bit. Very, very nervous about that. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm just saying. We got to at least push for one more gen. Speaking of discs, hold on, let me see. Irfan, where did you send the video, by the way? Oh my God, what is this? Bro, yeah, it's the scene from Superman. It is like that. It is like that, dude. You're right. Without physical, how would you replace your herniated disc? Exactly. All right. Clankstar says, having been a hardcore Sony PlayStation fan for 30 years, I've never been more disgusted, disgruntled, and disappointed with a company in my life. If the decision about physical games is not reversed, I will take my business elsewhere. Damn. And they put this picture in for good. Look at that. This is what we're losing, boys. This is what we're losing. This is what Sony's ripping this away from us. SOCOM US Navy SEALs. I remember buying that for the PS2. I think it's cut off at the top. We see Spider-Man for the PS1. Metal Gear Solid 3. Spyro. I'm going to save this picture too, actually. It's a good one. It's a good one. Metal Gear Solid. Medieval. Silent Hill 2. Twisted Metal. MGS 2. I see that hidden there. Crash. Grand Theft Auto 3. Amazing. Let me make sure. Okay. Here's the next one. I just straight up asked, how do you feel about PlayStation right now? Oh, boy. Oh, dude, you know what? Listen. Guys, hold on. I need to look this up. There's this one picture that to me is the funniest picture. What would it be called? Hold on. Got a direct dono from Rich Rod. He says, guys, I agree with fighting for it, but we all understand this is just temporary, right? We just have to hope websites like NM and CD keys get keys. Fight the Rich. You want to talk about fighting a fight? Now it's time to fight. And Perfect Image tried to send me a link. Let me see. Thank you, Irfan. Hold on, let me get out of here now. Yeah, I'm starting to fade now, guys. I have to wrap this up. But let me see. Moore's Law is dead. Moore's Law is dead says, even if Sony shut down their Austria factory, they can keep making PlayStation discs for decades. PS discs are just Blu-rays with a ROM mark added. There are multiple factories that could license production from Sony if Sony did not want to do it themselves. Yep. Well, guys, I think this is going to be a good place to wrap it up. We're about to hit the 4-hour mark, and I'm honestly not feeling very good. I gotta go chill for a little bit. I would have stayed a little bit longer, but it's creeping up on me. So this will be a good place to wrap it up. Yeah, pound that like button. No, I don't have to I don't have to take a dump, bro. If I had to, I'd be like, I'll be back in like 5 minutes, but I wish that's all it was. Yeah, I'm going to go get some rest. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. If you dropped any support, any, direct donations, we got a lot of those today. Super chats, a lot of super chats, memberships. Thank you guys so much for that. We are fan funded. I can only do what I do here because you make it possible and I rely on you. So thank you all so much. We'll continue to fight the good fight. I wanted to try to get a video out today. I don't think that's going to be possible, but we'll see what tomorrow brings. Okay. And I do just want to give you that guys heads up. I want to give you guys that heads up. If I'm not around at all, you know why. All right. Like it's driving me nuts because like things are going well on the channel. I want to be making videos as much as I can, streaming as much as I can, but my body is fighting me right now. It's getting in the way. And so hopefully I'll be able to I really hope to figure this out soon. But yeah, I apologize in advance. If you don't hear from me, if you don't see me, it's because I ain't doing great. All right. But if you do, it's a good sign. I know you wish you were me says thanks. Thank you, buddy. And I also want to give a shout out to Devil Shooter. Does the timestamps for the streams. If you guys see Devil Shooter in the comments with those timestamps, give him some thanks. Show him some love. I know he appreciates it. And that's it, guys. Please enjoy the rest of your day, evening, or night. I'm out, and I hope to see you guys again very soon. All right, so till then, take care, everyone.